So this is a lengthy video, as you can tell from the sort of scroll bar. And what I'm going over in this video is how to make $10,000 to $30,000 a month online as a coach with Instagram. So I've helped my clients actually scale to $100,000 a month or more. We've got many testimonials. You can see a link in our description to plenty of student interviews and testimonies, people that have done that. But if you yourself right now are an online coach, consultant, expert, or service provider, and you want to scale your business, this is going to be an incredible video for you to watch the whole thing. You know, our students pay a massive, just under a 5-figure fee to be as part of our community. And I figured I'd just give you guys, some recordings of what we've been teaching them, because I honestly believe you don't pay for the information, you pay for the community, the transformation, the implementation, the accountability, and relating this stuff to your specific business. So with this single video, you can probably build a $20,000 to $30,000 a month online coaching business, especially if you've got an established offer, you know how to sell it, you know how to get great results for clients, and you've got the right mindset and everything. So if that sounds cool to you, check out this whole video. This is a live training that I did over the course of 2 days, where I just broke down people's advertisements, their setting, their sales, and everything like that with their Instagram page, because that is the main strategy that I currently teach, is using Instagram. And how I see it is stage 1 is figure out what you're going to sell, who you're going to sell it to, what you're going to coach on. Stage 2 is get your Instagram going and start to sell one-on-one slots and get to $6,000 to $10,000 a month. Stage 3 is move from one-on-one slots to group slots so that you can take the time that you were spending on delivery and spend it on more sales calls and selling more people and deliver a great thing at scale. Build your course so that it gets them up to speed so you can have good group calls. Then stage 4 is you bring on your team, your appointment setter, your sales rep, your head coach, people to actually hang out in the DM and talk to people and set them up for your sales rep to sell them, and then a head coach to help run your program. And then that's how you get to $100,000 a month. And I've helped many people walk that path. In this training video, you're going to see exactly how we use Instagram to build 10 to 30, maybe $40,000 a month online coaching, training, and consulting businesses in any niche, no matter what the niche is. So this will be really great. Stick around for the whole thing. Check it out and enjoy. All right, y'all. Appointment setting. How to book more appointments. How to make your pages worth responding to and set up more meetings. How to actually get more opportunities on the calendar so you can get more reps, so you can sell and serve more people, so you can make more money. That's what we're talking about. Just a bit of authority built on my side before we get into this. In my company, historically, I think we're coming up on having booked over 20,000 meetings across all the different businesses that I've run, all the different things that I've done in my history, all the different businesses. And we've closed now, I think it's like 7.5 million total across like everything. So it's got to be in that ballpark somewhere. Yeah, at least 20,000 Zoom recordings. And the reason I say that is because I've learned a lot about the different types of leads that you attract, how to do this with your pages. My brother and I, the business we're starting together, where we're helping people start landscaping businesses or scale them, we're applying these lessons directly to his business, and we're consistently 2 weeks into the page being actually live, booking 1 to 3 meetings a day, like clockwork. And I just want to show you guys kind of how we approach things, how we think about things. And yeah, so we're looking at the page and we're looking at your actual appointment setting. So the actual conversations you have. So I've got some stuff prepped here. Just before we do this, what we're going to do is today I'm going to go kind of for like 20 minutes on some stuff that I've prepared just to give you some stuff. And then immediately following that, we're going to review for the rest of the setting bootcamp. Okay. So have your conversations ready, have your pages ready, because we're going to do just like live action review. And maybe even some of you, if you feel the challenge, I'd love if one of you took me up on this challenge, take what we're applying on this bootcamp and let's make this like a record for bookings within CB community, because you guys are doing what we're talking about live. That'd be so fun. So whoever wants to take that up, we can do that. Anybody good to go, or everybody good to go? We good to rock? And I'll share what I prepared, and we can have a good 2 days here. Let's rock it. Let's rock it. Okay. I'm going to share. Here we go. All right. So this is what I prepped. I'm first going to talk the importance of keeping a 30-second to 2-minute speed to lead. You can be a terrible appointment sitter. a terrible salesperson, have a terrible offer, a terrible market message. But if you are on top of your leads and you hit them quickly, you're going to outperform somebody who has a great message, a great offer, and is great at sales. That is how important this is. So what I'm talking about, speed to lead, just to define lead here for a second, a lead, and I say this in the training, but I'll repeat it here again. I said off recording how important repeating yourself is here. But a lead is a comment, a like, a follow, a response to a poll, a response to a story call to action, and somebody who messages you from the little word you put in your bio. That would be a lead. Okay? Just to clarify that. And we're messaging these people with different openers. You should all have the script we give you in CB based on the source that they came to you from. All right? You'll get 50. Whoa. Somebody needs to mute. So he's got explosive sneezes in here, dude. But you'll get 50 to 70% more efficiency depending on the market if you actually do this, okay? That was ridiculous. The next is importance of the tracking sheet. So you actually have to use this thing. Like, I'll repeat myself for hours here on this. You have to track. I'm sorry. I gotta focus. If you're not tracking, we can't review anything, and neither can you. Okay? You have to track. Put a 1 in the chat if you've been tracking. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not tracking, so that I know who to be mad at. Nice. There's nobody to be upset with. You're probably just not putting a 2 in the chat because you don't want me to be mad at you. I understand. Carlos! Xavier! Mad at both of you. Now I'm mad at both of you. Alexandria, what are you guys doing? All right. Next, I'm going to answer when to bring on an appointment setter. Okay? First, you're closing consistently, 25% or more consistent, like clockwork, maybe 30%. You're selling a group program, not one-to-one. You're not selling hours of your time. You're selling access to a community, group calls, and training material. And then you have lots of inbound opportunities and outbound. So let me actually answer this more in depth. He asked me over Instagram DM, and I don't respond to Instagram DMs. Please use school, but I just happened to be on my phone, and Mark Twain just quit his gig, and he's going all in with this, and I just wanted to help him. So please use school. But I said I recommend bringing in a setter once you have ample inbound from story DMs, warm outbound from likes and comments. Before that, your setter isn't going to have enough opportunity. By ample, I mean that somebody can make at least $4,000 to $5,000 a month in income with a $1,000 a month base pay and 5 to 7% commission of what they set that sells. That's when you bring in a setter. How many of you, after now reading this, realize you're a bit further from bringing in a setter than you might have thought? All right. You hire when it hurts, no sooner nor later. You hire when you've got the system ready for somebody to thrive within it. Drop a 1 if you're like, I've got a little work to do before I bring a setter in, huh? Everybody's like so excited to hire. You're not ready, dude. Okay. And this, by the way, this can mean you need to, instead of selling it for 2,000, you need to learn how to sell it for 5,000. You might need to make that leap first. You need to make the leap where you've got tons of inbound. Make that leap. Increase your spend to while you're there. People, one of my mentors told me, hire not because you don't want to do it. That's the wrong reason. Hire because you have better uses of your time that are more leveraged, but you enjoy doing it and would do it if you could. Does that make sense? We don't hire because we don't want to. We hire because there's better uses of our time that grow the business further. Okay, moving on. Most of you, your problem isn't setting. Your problem is not enough warm volume. So in this boot camp, we are going to talk about conversation approach and style, asking good questions, and actually how to set. But for most of you, your problem isn't that. Your problem is this. So I'm going to talk about a couple solutions to that before we move forward. Solutions to cold or low volume. We want high, warm volume. So solutions to solving the cold or low volume problem is a bad ad, starting from the very top of your business. A good ad has a clear who. So it's not, hey, if you're this or this. I've seen a lot of your ads do this, you guys. It's not, hey, if you're this or this. It's just, hey, if you are this. It's not, hey, if you're this or this, that'll ruin your ad. Start with who. Another one, I give this advice all the time. I'm just giving you, I'm repeating the things I say all the time to you guys. If your ad takes less than 0.2 seconds for the audience to be called out, like some of your ads are like, hey, everybody, if you are a blank, nope, next, you're gone. It has to be the first thing the ad says. Like if you're Joseph here, you know, with the nutrition. If you're a Christian man who wants to master your health, boom, that's the first thing the video ad should say. And if it's a Twitter carousel, it's very clear who it's for immediately. If you go to my brother and I's business, we call it landscape business owners immediately, or people who want to make money with landscape immediately. We don't waste any time. There's no, hey guys, there's nothing like that. Next is a clear mechanism and a clear and desirable outcome. We've talked about this. You can watch our mindset training. You understand that. Stories. Stories should be all, if you're going to put a poll or a call to action up, I see this mistake a lot on your guys' businesses. I follow a lot of you, okay? If you're going to put up a call to action, it should be the only story up for 24 hours. If you put a poll up, it's the only story up for 24 hours until it expires. Why? Because if you put up other stuff, like a lot of you love to share posts from other pages, like influencers you follow and stuff, that's fine. It's chill. I mean, I literally just put up a meme of like some guy buying a girl cheese after their date. Like I enjoy, like I relax, you know, and I just have fun with it, okay? Yeah, 12 kilogram cheese. You guys saw what I posted. Sorry, like I don't take it too seriously, but like when I want volume, it's the only thing I put up. You don't put up like you don't put up personal, a tweet, one of your reels, and then a call to action. That's just not gonna get any response. It has to be the only thing on the story. If you're gonna do a call to action or a poll, or you're giving away a resource to start a conversation, if you're doing something that's supposed to lead to a message, which obviously my cheese meme is not supposed to lead to a message, if that's not clear, then it should be the only thing on the story for 24 hours, okay? And I'll give you some examples of some good call to actions here in a sec. A good call to action is a clear outcome with a mechanism, some scarcity, like looking to fill 2 seats or etc., and personalization. So I'll be answering my DMs today. It'll be me. And then timely. I'm looking for X students in given month who want blank. So I've got an example. This crushed it for us, like for the longest time. I think we could probably run it if we want to. I'm looking for 5 students in April. Obviously, I would say September now, who want my direct guidance to making $5,000 to $20,000 online with sending this coaching business. I'll help you blank, 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 blank. DM me name of the month, and that tends to work pretty well, and I'll message you back. Now, please, you guys understand that this came through about 3 months of Kaizen. You guys know what I'm talking about here? Like I tested a bunch of stuff. This worked for me. It might not work for you, but rule of thumb, these are generally things that tend to work, okay? So you've got an amount of seats. It'll be me answering X amount of students in a given month, okay? And then polls, I'll actually show you responses to polls. Actually, I need to bring an example here. If you can't read this, there's no way you can, but the best way to run a poll is to say, I need more info about my audience, or want to learn more about you guys, or polling my audience, or trying to understand you. It's not tell me where you're at. I'm trying to get to know who you guys are so I can serve you better. And then we add any starting coach business, currently running a business, doing this much, doing this. So you give them a lot of options. You try to build a poll that gives your entire audience the option to just tap a little response. And then to message them, you just click this right here. And then you send the normal opener with that. Okay. These are great leads. Okay. Next, the percentage of bookings that you should expect inbound to outbound. Inbound, the numbers, I actually wrote this earlier on. I'm going to update this number real quick. I would say 25 to 35% of your conversations that come to you should lead to bookings. 7 to 10% of outbound should lead to bookings. Now, inbound is they respond to a call to action, they comment on a post, or they message you your bio word. Outbound is you messaged a new follower, or a liker, though a liker is definitely a few leagues above a follower. Like they've been following for a sec, they liked a piece of content and you messaged them. Okay. Inbound is generally much less heavy lifting. Outbound is more scalable, but a bit more heavy lifting. I'm going to ask you guys if you have any questions here in a sec. Please prep your questions. We're going to do questions and I'll go into review after. Next, Calendly in the bio. We have our video sales letter in a bio. Don't do video sales letter in your bio. That is what we need to do because of the scale that we're at. If you're sub $100,000 a month in sales, put a Calendly link in your bio for now. It works great. You'll get some free bookings every once in a while. And make sure that, you know, in your bio, you call it out. You know what I mean? Free consultation call with me below, hit it. Right? Call it out in your bio. Next thing, some of you have asked me how to film content and what content to film. And I'll stick by what I said, that you all really only need one good ad and then being good at setting to book enough meetings for you to do really well. But content does help with the longer term audience growth, and it helps pull out some people from the shadows in your audience that you're building here. So good content, how I see it, solves the micro problems someone is facing that are preventing the outcome that you're marketing in your ad. It never gives the full picture, but it adds real value to the elements they're facing. So like, for example, if I were to just pick like Anya's business, you know, you do the you help women master their personal finance, right? You'd be like, here's three, like I love 3 reasons why. I love, here's one thing I wish I knew. I love my story of, you know what I mean? You can come up with a ton of ideas here. You know, here's how I took this student from here to here using this. You can come up, literally your coaching call should give you a million ideas a day, right? You should get tons of ideas just from helping your students. But it's solving the micro problems. Like, here's how 30 seconds a day using this budgeting tool can give you total financial peace forever. I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean? And you guys get the idea. Just quick tips that solve micro problems. If I were to do Joseph's business, you know, the nutrition for Christian men, I would do like, here's why calorie counting is a lie. I don't know that it actually is. You know what I mean? I'm just coming up with an example here. You know what I mean? Here's two. If all you do are these 2 things, you will have the energy and body that you want in 12 months or less. Lists are great. And then you want to, on the caption, I'll show you guys here a live example of me setting somebody that did this. We had a piece of content. The captions should always be something that leads to a conversation. This guy commented start on this. Want a copy of the proven sales script our clients have used to generate over 40 million, comment start. So you can just make value content and then give away a resource in the caption. That tends to work. He messaged us start, and then this is me setting him in. So I just real quick, it was Saturday, shot him a voice note. Hey dude, I said pretty much verbatim, hey man, we'd love to know a bit more about you and know why you're reaching out. Do you mind telling me a bit about yourself and what has you interested in our resources? And then he tells me a bit about it. Got it. What's your goal? Move right into his goal here. Got it. Kind of where are you at in accordance to that goal? Got it. If you've got the time, I think I could help you get to goal. If you're willing to do the work, I have my students do and go all in with me. Just had this student blank who just put in his 2 weeks at his ministry job after having his first $9,000 month with his offer. I think your story could be pretty similar. So if you have a student you can reference, that's great. If you don't, you're not going to lose the booking, but it's nice to have that reference if you do. Again, if you don't, seriously, don't worry about it. I like to throw these in and sprinkle them in where I can. I think a common misconception is that people only work with you if they already have existing clients. It's just absolutely, fundamentally, absolutely not true. Most people see this and they think there's no way that could be me. That's just the truth. So then I drop my link, and then I say what I tell you guys to say. Here's my calendar, man. I'm here for the next 5 minutes or so. You can book in now. I confirm it's not a double booking. That adds a little bit of like momentum to them booking. You know, that's just a little bit of like, hey, do it now. Because otherwise they tend to wait on it and whatever. So yeah, there you go, you guys. That is how to kind of optimize your page for the most warm inbound possible. Let's answer some questions. And then we'll move into review. So I just shared a lot with you guys. There are no dumb questions. What do you guys need from me? And we'll hang out on this for a minute, and then we'll move into review. So drop a Q in the chat. We'll hit them one at a time, just so we're not fighting over each other audio. I think that just could be ridiculous. We'll start with Anya. Could you just unmute and share what your question is, please?
Yeah, so basically, how often should you be sharing the I have XYZ number of spots kind of story? I've done that before. My hesitancy is I don't want it to appear like I'm trying to create false scarcity. Like if they see through it and they're like, okay, she has more than 5 spots. That has been my hesitancy. I've done it, but how often should you be doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you do that maybe once a week max. And you know, if people see that you still have the spots open, then they're like, "Oh, the spots are still open." You know, they don't have any reference for what's going on behind the scenes. I've never been too worried about that personally, but if you are, you can wait a little longer. To give you a cadence, I like to do like one story call to action, one poll, and like one resource giveaway a week when I'm really running this system. We capped with this system at about $150,000 a month in my company. And so it's like we're moving to a now more scalable marketing model that we hope to get us to, like an 8-figure level. But when we were running this, yeah, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday call to action, Wednesday poll, Friday resource. On the off days, I just post whatever I want. Like the cheese meme today or freaking whatever. Just look like a human. You know what I mean? Like try to look like a human being in between all of this as just like a note, So yeah, Anya, does that answer your question?
It does. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I got you. Tom, you've got a question. What's up?
Hey guys. Question around the VSL. I think I spent like 3 hours trying to script one this morning. And then you're like, yeah, you at 100,000 yet? No, nah, still a long way off that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just simply just a Calendly link in the bio.
Yeah, 100%. You don't need a VSL. We have a VSL because when you're trying to scale a company to like 10 million a year plus, you need every single prospect to have seen the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Because otherwise there's too much variance in their understanding of your business. Like some people saw this content. Some people followed you at this date when you were kind of talking more about this. Others followed you at this date when you kind of talking more about that. And the content the Instagram's kind of like a revolving door. It works amazingly well to get you to 10, 20, 30, 40, $100,000 a month if you do it right. It does not work that great to get you to 8 figures. And I really want to be that level of a company. So we're moving to that model. So yeah, I would say sub 100,000 a month, you do not need a VSL, just as a overall general rule. I used to have a different opinion on that. If you were to script one, you'd get some automatic bookings, which is nice, but it doesn't really compare to like the leverage you get by just doing what we've talked about so far well.
Sweet, cheers.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, but does that make sense to everybody? Like, I want to make sure you understand why I am doing the VSL right now. It's because when you have a ton of people, you want them all to have seen the exact same thing and have the exact same perception of your business over and over and over and over again, so you can train salespeople to say the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. It has to just be very conveyor belt in order to really grow. This is not a very conveyor belt thing. It's very active, okay, which is fine, and it's more than worth working on for every single one of you on this call. Okay, Joseph, what's up, dude? You got a question?
Yep. So content is just to solve micro problems. So not like the overall problem of like their like mental emotional problem, but like just kind of like the baseline. Like
Yeah,
they can't.
totally, dude. You could be like 3 foods that if you're eating them are ruining your libido as a man. I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Whatever you want,
Yeah.
whatever you want to talk about, right? Anything,
It's
anything.
just like giving enough, but not like giving them the entire solution to the problem, because that's
Yeah,
why we.
yeah. Well, it's actually impossible to give the solution to the problem in short form content. By the way, like you could try you could work so hard to do that, and it's just not possible. So I believe in giving away the farm. Actually, I believe you tell people everything you tell them on the other side. People aren't paying for the information; they're paying for proximity and to have that information related to them. So you really do give away the farm here, but you just do it in little chunk sizes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So are you saying like I should definitely like focus on creating more content then? Because right now I have like 9 posts and
Yeah, I mean, like 1 or 2 posts a week is plenty.
okay.
Yeah, plenty. Good posts, quality posts, things that get comments and interactions. Yes, because I think in Connor Ricky's business, who is just the ideal example of like taking this to its extreme. I mean, I think they'll do like 160,000 cash this month. He told me, which is actually better than we even did with the model. I think we capped at like 140, 150. But yeah, I mean, for him, his setter loves messaging likes and comments. That's like most of it. And so like having content that like really does well, you can model his page if you want. They give away resources in the comments, you know, a lot of that. They have pretty much all of their content has a caption that says comment this if you want this, And if you notice that with this guy I showed you, like I literally didn't even talk about the freaking resource. That's the crazy thing. Let me pull it up again. So he comments start. The caption is want the sales script. We don't even talk about this freaking sales script. I ask him why he wants the sales script, and then we move on to talking about him the rest of the time. And then we set a meeting. So like a little tip, a little ninja hack, you don't even have to have the resource ready that you're giving away. Just put something there. And if it gets a lot of traction and then people are asking for it in the DM, yeah, you can then make it, right? You can just put something there just to get the comments, just to get the conversations. Don't worry about being crept on the back.
Cool. So just like to what's it called, like kind of like reaffirm or like reassure, it's just like with content you're solving micro problems, but you're not talking about pains, are you? So I thought that you talk about pains in the content and like solving those pains, but it's more like the problems then.
Problems and pain is the same thing in my head.
Okay. Okay. Do you mention like any kind of like outcome or anything, or just like the problem?
You're overthinking it.
Yeah.
The camera is a client. Talk to them like a client, but start it with a hook that gets them watching.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Because otherwise you might lose them. Like, if you want this, don't do this. How to guarantee you get this in the next X time frame, right? 3 reasons why you haven't achieved this yet. 2 things you can do to get here, right? Like little hooks that keep them in, and then just deliver value.
Okay.
Hook. It's like the camera is your coaching client, and then the framework is hook value, hook value, hook value. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I never really thought of it that way.
Yep.
The camera's my client.
Camera's your client, hook value.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. And that'll add a lot of LTV to your followers too. Lifetime value is what that's called in marketing. Add a lot of value to your audience because they will comment, you'll add value to them. You'll have reciprocity with these people. They'll be easier closes later if they've watched a lot of your content. So that's kind of like the longer term. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, does the Monday, Wednesday, Friday cadence make sense? And on the off days, just be a person? Like that'll make sense. Everything I've talked about so far makes sense to everybody? Cool. Let's keep moving on. Mordecai, you've got a question, dude?
Yeah, I like the comment that you made about not having like an abundance of case studies with clients like refer to the DMs. Can you talk more about that and just like mindset when you don't have like a bunch of case studies to refer to on sales
Yeah,
calls?
well, in general, the reason beginners stay beginners is they're always looking for outside permission to do things that they should just do. Like, oh, I don't have testimonials, this is why I don't. Oh, I don't know how to run ads, this is why I don't. Oh, I haven't learned how to sell yet, is why I don't. Oh, you just have to break that and just play the cards that you've been dealt. When we have I had this like little mini like debate with one of the students in CB, and it's like, why don't people listen to me when I say this? Testimonials don't always help you. Testimonials only help if the person you're talking to looks like, is the same age, has the same background experience, and is exactly like that person you're sharing. Otherwise, a lot of the time they don't really help. Like, it's very interesting. We have people come to us and they're like, do you have any testimonials of people in this niche with this age and this budget? And I'm like, gosh, no, sorry. Right. It's very interesting. Humans just want to know what they want to know when they're asking for testimonials. They want to know that it will work for them.
Yeah.
Right. There's other ways of showing them that it will work for them than testimonials. Testimonials are just kind of the most scalable way to do that, but it doesn't always work. Because actually the counter effect of having good testimonials like we have is people are always looking for reasons why it couldn't be them. Because that's the normal mindset. Is they're different, or Trey's just a great marketer, or they had something I don't have, or that they're not telling the full story. There must have been something they had or something.
Gotcha. I remember you saying that people always look for a reason why it's not them or why they're special. So aside from testimonials, maybe some other frameworks to approach those conversations is just customizing a solution to them, like in the DMs, like maybe sending a voice note about
totally.
an insight. Anything else you can think of with that?
I mean, that's good enough. Little solution of voice note solution is plenty good enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Got you, man. All right, Yusuf, you've got a question. Let's do how many Qs do we have in the chat? 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2. Fahad confirmed it in the chat. He said, "That's very true. Before joining, I was looking for every reason not to join the program." Yeah, dude, it's human psychology. Okay, 1, 2 questions. Well, I'll have space for 4 more questions. So we'll go to Yusuf, Max, we'll do 2 more, and then we're gonna go into some review. You guys excited for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Yusuf, what's up?
Yeah, man. So I got 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I haven't done a CTA in the last like 7 months. I'm worried about like being too salesy. Like I want to just lead with value and stuff. But like, how many times per week do you recommend like doing CTA on stories?
Why are you afraid of being salesy? What does that even mean?
I mean, like the Hormozy says, like doing a lot of CTS killing your growth. I just want to build a lot of like reciprocity. I don't know if that's the word. That was my mindset, but like, yeah, I will do what you say.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're really saying is you don't want to be incongruent. So I think salesiness comes from incongruency. Like people see one thing and then you're actually another way. That's like what I think people actually mean when they're saying salesy. Because if I'm fully congruent from day one, people know that I have something that I sell, that I believe in, that I love doing, that's impacting people and serving them. Then like I'm not being salesy by saying, "Hey, come talk to me about it," am I? You know what I mean? So it's congruency that you're worried about, and I would say, dude, just be congruent from day one. It'd be like, if I had a daughter and, some boy started talking to her and I said, "What's your intentions with my daughter?" And he said, "Oh, I just want to be friends with her." I'm like, "That's BS. We both know that. Just tell me what your intentions are so we can have the actual conversation, right?" It's like the same thing. It's like just be congruent and own what you're doing and why you're doing it through and through. Anya said that's a huge mindset shift that I had to overcome. It's a big mindset shift for a lot of people because they don't want to be salesy, but what you're trying to be is congruent. And if you believed in what you were doing for people, why wouldn't you be? Right? So that's a big beginner mindset shift that everybody has to get over. You got to get over that. Does that make sense to Yusuf and to everybody else?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we lose half the people at the ad level because people immediately are like, this guy's just selling something. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I am. You don't have to walk in the doors if you don't want to, though. And so I think, I agree with Gary Vaynerchuk's like jab, 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 right hook concept. But I think underneath each jab, somebody knows the right hook is coming, but the jabs are just really good. And they're like, okay, I'll take the right hook. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's kind of how I see it. Because Gary Vee's got that like jab, 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 like add value, add value, add value, add value. But you're not like surprising them with an offer. It's like they know it's there. It's just now all of a sudden the reciprocity bucket's filled. So why wouldn't I take the right hook? Right. We're not selling anything. Now all of a sudden we're selling you something. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm. So do you recommend doing it 3 times per week like you did?
I would do a call to action, a poll, and a resource giveaway. I wouldn't do a call to action 3 times per week. That could get a little redundant.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we'll do that. Like forever? Like when do you want to, like for 3 months straight, can I do that every single week? If there's end to that?
Yeah, absolutely you could. I have no doubt that you could totally do that. It'd be totally fine. Yep.
All right, we'll do that.
As long as you're a human on the off days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people do business with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why I put my wife up. There's a reason why I post cheese memes. There's a reason why I do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I was being human every single day, but right now I'm changing it for like part-time human.
Yep. I've got one tattoo and it's in Hebrew. Okay. So one of my goals is to actually read the Bible in Hebrew one day. So like know how to read and speak Hebrew. Because I just think it's a beautiful language and the Old Testament is grossly mistranslated into modern times, and I want to be able to do that. But in the Hebrew culture, and if anybody here is like deeply Hebrew, I apologize if I'm offending you and not getting it right, but like their last name back in the time when Jesus was here actually used to represent what they did for a living, right? So it was something you took with you every day, all day, 24/7. That's what last names used to be. That's why we get Smith. That's why we get, stuff like that, right? They used to Smith, metal, right? Physically.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I bring up this analogy, I make the joke. I don't want to know what Cockrum means. I don't want to trace that back and know where that came from. But I think it's a very 9 to 5 beginner broke mindset to not identify with what you do and not wear it on your sleeve. And once you can get over that, you'll make so much more money and you'll be way happier and you'll be way more satisfied with your career. So yeah, just in general, dude, like don't try and hide what you're doing behind a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you're saying Paul
if who's talking to my daughter hides behind a curtain that he ultimately would like to have sex with her and is very attracted to her. Be like, okay, I can see right through you, dude. Come on. Like, can we just talk about the real thing, please? So we could be on the same page as men. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the same thing, same idea, because then maybe, if I like him at one point, then he gets married and sure, have her because I want my daughter to be with a good man. You know what I mean? So it's like the same thing. Yeah.
Got it. One of them was poll. Other one is I'm looking for 5 people. And what was the last one?
Whole call to action and like a resource giveaway. So you can be like, DM me this word, I'll send you this. Like for us, a sales script works really well. People love scripts. That's where a lot of people are at, is they need to be told exactly what to do and just have their hand completely held, you know? So scripts tend to work pretty well. You can think about that for yours. Like for your niche, what's a resource you could give that people are like, yes. You know, like for Joseph, it could be like a diet plan, right? For Anya, it could be a budgeting Excel sheet that people can use, right? For Robbie, dude, you had the 10K week. Remind me, what was your niche? I forget what your niche is. You had 10K week, bro.
Mindset for entrepreneurs.
Mindset. It's a mindset.
Like
three.
avoiding procrastinations and
So it could be like the 3 best solving mindset
tracker.
and my takeaways from them, or something like that.
Excuse
Or
me?
it could be like the 3 best books for mindset and my takeaways from them, or something like that. Or I don't know, a resource, right?
Yeah, like a habit tracker, like a Notion or something like that. Yeah. Thank you.
So stuff like that. Cool.
All right. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Max Dabrowski said that Cockrum could mean rum made out of rooster blood. I used to sell rooster blood rum. My brother and I have the joke that we're going to come up with Cockrum, and it's going to be a brand of rum someday. But I don't know if we'll ever make it happen. All right, let's move on to review, you guys. All right, I said I'd do 2 more, actually. Forrest, you've got a question, and then we'll do 1 more after Forrest, and we're going to review.
Thank you, Trey. So I'm really interested by the idea. You kind of brought this up last call. I think it was a close previous one, but you did a little bit here too. Talking about like creating an advertisement that is so good that you don't necessarily even need a lot of content or any content at all to already have people bought in that they should be listening to you and that you can help them. I've been following the scripts that you have in the program and also looking at other people's scripts as well. Is there anything you think that people aren't doing right now that could be added to create an ad of that kind of quality? Like for instance, like maybe calling out people who you don't work with within the ad, or you know what I mean? Like, is there anything else that you would add to just get to that upper level?
Yeah, I mean, how many of you, just by show of hands or one in the chat, have messaged and set an appointment of a brand new follower that came from the ad at all? Like they just followed you, message you, set within 48 hours of that. Fahad, Forrest, sort of. Anybody else? Anya, Joseph. Okay, so your ads are good enough. Like if you're getting meetings from it at all within a 48-hour window of the new follower, then it is good enough. Then it's a sales thing from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. That's kind of how I see that. Like content, what it does is it adds a little more reciprocity, creates a little bit more of a long-term relationship with the audience, and like sets up more setting opportunity for the future. But yeah, if you just had one good ad and you had 2 good pieces of content on a page, like that's what my brother and I are doing with this thing we're doing. It's like you just check out the page, there's like nothing on it. 2 weeks in, we've already set and sold. We've sold 2 $3,000 packages. And we've set probably, I think, like 9 meetings now total. And as of last night, we, instead of us setting, we now have our salesperson also setting, and now we're booking like 1 to 3 a day. And we're just now doing content. You know what I mean? Like it's just now a conversation. He's gonna come over and we're gonna do it. So yeah. It's kind of like one of those things that just adds a lot of juice to an already working system. It adds a ton of juice and a ton of profitability to your business. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I pretty much answered my question. I mean, I'm sure with the content, like making a good piece of content would be something that's probably, pretty targeted and, just like kind of just shows your knowledge in this space and so on and so forth, at least enough to let these people know that you do have knowledgeable information that you can share.
Totally.
And then from there, it's just like selling to get on the call to share that information. And then from there, it's, you know, potentially making an offer if they're a good fit.
Yeah. And once your audience gets big enough, one thing that Connor or Ricky did, I told him, dude, just go live once a month for like an hour and a half, answer those questions, have a camera set up, and then have an editor clip the answers. And that's like your content for the month. So now he does that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. All right. We got one more question from Joseph. What's up, dude? And then we'll move on to review.
Yep. I was just curious with the Calendly link in the bio. Should it be more of like a longer intake form of like budget, you know, problems, or should it just be like a name, phone number, email, and just make it easier for them?
I would say make it easier for them, and it'll be rare that you do a one call close on that. That's low barrier of entry, low friction, and yeah, that's how I would do that.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Sweet. Let me make sure my speaker's going good. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
All right, let's do some review, you guys. Let's look at your conversations. Let's look at your profiles and everything. Just put a 1 in the chat and we'll just go in order and start reviewing people one at a time. All right, Joseph, let's do it. Breaking it up so that we've got the Q&A recorded and the review recorded separately. All right, dude. So first thing I'm seeing is there's no call to action in the bio.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to add something there. Let's not do it now, but you got to add that. Okay. Now let's look at your tracking sheet, please. So to be ready for review, come with your Instagram page, your tracking sheet, and have pulled up some conversations that either should have led to sets or did lead to sets or you're still working on. Just kind of have those tabs available for me. And then we'll just do one at a time here.
This is so far in September. I haven't run any ads for the past 4 or 5 days. I'm still in the works of, you know, like figuring out my script on a
Great.
script. Like,
yeah, so you would totally have some inbound if you had something in your bio. And this would have been easy sets. So you've gotten one set. If you just had something in your bio, you would have maybe gotten like one this day, and you would have at least doubled your sets. So that's like the immediate thing that I'm seeing. Okay. The other thing is, what's your story cadence so far? Like, what have you been putting on the stories?
It's not consistent at all. I was thinking the process. I was like, should I like post content or post like long form, like letters to people, or what should I do? Stories.
Yeah, I would do for feed content, I would do just hook value as the framework, and your camera is the client, right? That's the framework. And then for stories, you know, I would do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would do call to action that day following our framework that I shared with you guys earlier. Wednesday's a poll, and Friday's a resource. And on the off days, so that would be Tuesday, Thursday, and then the weekend, you can do, thing is, you get a lot of response on the weekend, so you can optionally just push one of these into the weekend or do it again on the weekend. But on the off days, you're just getting personal, you're being a human being. Cheese memes.
Yeah.
I want to see some of you guys post the same cheese meme on your story now. You're like, oh, gotta do what Trey's doing. Post the cheese meme. All right.
And I did have a lot of conversation, Trey.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's look at your conversations now.
All right, let me see right here. Yeah, so this guy, I didn't even like dive in hard, but he said I set him somehow. Like,
nice. Very good. So first of all, when you guys are showing me, now Joseph, I'm using your review as a chance to optimize further reviews. When you're showing a conversation, please mention the source. So Joseph, was this an outbound to a follow?
Yes.
Okay. I assumed based on the intro, but that's really helpful to know. So let's get into this. Welcome to the community. So you dropped a follow. How are things? How have you been doing? This is a great question. I like this opener a lot. He gives some good information here. This tells me he's hot. Like he's you know, willing to share. If you're willing to share, that's good news, right? Okay. That's a good question. Very vague and gives them room. So I'm telling you guys what's good and what's bad. I'm telling you why it's good and bad. Good because it's open-ended. Do you guys know the difference between closed-ended and open-ended questions? Drop a 1 in the chat if you know the difference between closed-ended and open-ended question. You know the difference, Audrey, Alexander, you know the difference. Closed-ended gives them the opportunity to basically say a specific thing, a yes or a no. Open-ended gives them the chance to expand and kind of go in whatever direction they feel best. So these are very good open-ended questions that would lead to information. This is amazing right here. I know this guy's gonna set. Like I'm like, boom. All right, tons of information. Like you don't share that amount of information unless you are either currently in pain and want better, or you have big desires for the future, right? Like why else would you do that? So, and if you guys have watched, actually I put up a module recently. Why do people buy coaching in the introduction section of CB? It's because there's just a desired outcome that they have, or pain with where they are now that they don't know how to get. So why else would somebody write this much information? I'm not even necessarily looking at the information. I'm just purely by the size of it. This is great. I love the transparency here. That's very cool. Honestly, hate to be forward with you. This is my line. I like that you stole that. It's very good. Would love to help you make a change. I'd like to get more specific with that. Maybe get more specific about his goals here and be like, I would love to help you drop that 20 pounds or et cetera. I'd love to hop on a call with you this week. That's good. -% over the calendar. That's good. All good. Dude, buy the books, man. This is phenomenal.
And then he like kind of gave me an excuse, so I just like let him sit. And then the next day he came back to me. I was like, "Hey, I looked at your comment, nothing works." So then I found a time this week to make it work for him. So I was just kind of surprised at how simple it was, but he still said.
Okay. Yep. That's what I've been talking about this whole time with you, Joseph. It is simple, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that feel?
It felt interesting. I was like, wow, so you don't need to go through the whole thing. You can just be like, hey, if they tell you everything, just be like, dude, I get it. I understand. Just book a meeting with me. Like, I can help you get through this. Like, let's go.
Dude, one of the best piece of advice that I ever got about like forms and data from forms is actually from my dad. He said, like, if somebody gives you a lot of like text on a form, you know their emotions are in it. You don't even need to read the freaking text.
Yeah.
If they give you a lot of information, you know their emotions are in it, and they're an easy set. So yeah, man, like that makes a lot of sense that he set. Like just by the sheer amount of information he shared to it being a book meeting. Let's look at like 2 or 3 others, man, and let's see if we can find out why others didn't. Now it's gonna be really hard. Looking at the conversation, it's just such a tiny little peek into their lead warmth, your ad, these other things that you're doing. But let's look at these.
I have one right here. Let me just turn it over. Where'd he go? Oh man. He should be right here though.
Drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready for your review, meaning your page, your conversations, your spreadsheet. Like you're good to go here in a sec, next in line. Like cool. Just making sure you guys are actually getting ready. Page, conversation, spreadsheet.
This guy's another one.
Okay.
This is when I didn't like chill out. This is when I was still going through like the uppercase and like script by script. But
Yep. So what he's talking about there, for all of you listening to the recording or in the call now, we had a group call and I was like, Joseph, just relax, man. He was being all perfect with his caps. He was like trying too hard and it just came off salesy. Like even just little things. Like I know it sounds small, but I actually never use capital beginnings of sentences. How are things going? And also I just make it the letter U, like the letter U. And Joseph since then fixed that. And the reason why is, again, you need to feel like a human. I told Joseph, and this was on a group call, like him talking like this is like the equivalent of like getting on a phone call with a company and they talk to you like, I'll just use my name as a good one. Hello, Trey. How are you today? It's like, dude, please. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So just, lowercase letters, make some grammatical errors. It's all chill. So I imagine that's a part of why this maybe didn't work.
Yeah.
Let's keep scrolling.
I actually didn't even go for the set with this guy because I think I just went way too deep into detail, but I think it might help some other people who are going through the same process.
Yeah, I mean, why didn't you go for the set? Because you went too deep, you said?
No, I actually didn't go for the set because he was like at the end when I just like
Hey, can you guys hear me?
There we go. Yep.
All right, cool. I lagged out there for a sec. I lost you. You didn't go for the set because.
Oh yeah. Because I just honestly didn't feel right about it, and I think I just went way too deep, and I just didn't think that he would be like invested in the process. If you want to go to like the whole conversation, so I think I just
Yeah,
like
I would be careful about that. So take a big note of this, guys. Don't judge prospects. You don't know that. You know what I mean? You don't like until you're on a meeting with somebody, you don't know how serious they're going to take their goals. Like over text, it's so impossible to read that. It's literally impossible. We're trying to set everybody possible. Everybody, right? We don't make everybody an offer on the meeting, but we're trying to set everybody. But we're going to still make offers to 80% of people on those meetings still and let them decide how seriously they take this. For you to decide how seriously they're going to take it is it's just not good. You know, it's hurting your business actively. So I found that that's, it's almost like if a student of mine in this program has this judgment of like they will or they won't do it, you're like a sales funnel. Everybody knows what a sales funnel is. You should at least be able to conceptualize a sales funnel. There's a lot of traffic at the top, and then by the time they reach the bottom, they make a sale. You're like a sales funnel with like a chink in it for no reason. And like a big chunk of your traffic just stops right here and never moves on, right? For like no reason. And you got another chink in it. And so now you've just cut your traffic into like 30% of what it could have been because for no good reason, you're just judging everybody. And you should maybe judge them here, if ever. But everybody should be treated the same in the DM, and everybody you should attempt to book. Because otherwise, you're just slowing the process down of getting reps and making offers to people.
that makes sense.
Yep. Cool.
So what if they're telling they're broke?
Still.
Yeah, like he said that he was on like what's it called? Government pay in a way, like low income.
That's still like it's people, if they really want to do something, will find the money to do it. And if they're seriously not happy and they're a terrible client and it's just not worth, send my refund. It's fine. But like you're not the judge of whether somebody's going to take their goals seriously or not. You let them be that. The way that we run our sales meetings, even. Where are you now? Why don't you want to be there? Where do you want to be? Why do you want to be there? What's stopping you from doing it yourself? Cool, convicted offer. Here's how it works. How seriously are you going to take this? Right? It's their decision, not yours.
Good point. All right.
Yep. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Cool. Let's do like Joseph, do you want to do more review on your end or you get to move on? Because I think, dude, I mean, that one you set was just so by the books, man. And then I think if you just add like a call to action to your bio and you have some content there, like
I think
you're gonna get a lot more. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think you set up really well, dude.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Actually, I just found the guy who I wanted to cover. So
Let's do it. We'll do it real quick and then we'll move on.
Sweet.
Sweet.
The primary. Where we go? Primary. Where'd he go? His name's Alfredo. It's literally just right here. Makes no sense.
You good, dude. Let me chuck it down.
Oh, maybe Alfredo. Oh wait, actually, I would just do this. Alfredo. Yeah, right there. Okay, good.
Patrick Star. I like it. You have to follow and then message him. That's fine. You can just follow him and unfollow him after. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, nice. Nice, man.
This was kind of like an inbound. I didn't even message him in a way.
Yep. Nice, dude. Killer. Nice. I see this is all good. I like, again, very open-ended question here. Very good. Skinny fat physique. We lived in high school for 2 years. Yes, senior. This is good. Good discovery questions here. I like it. You're letting them open up. I would try and make these a bit more open-ended and a bit more emotional, just a little bit in like the setting, maybe a little less like this specific. Give me this. If you're going to ask for a specific number, like give them the opportunity still to make it personal to them. So you know what I mean? Because otherwise you're just going to get like this, like, okay, you just like want it. Okay. Like, where do we go from there? want to make sure that we're getting them personally involved in this. Where you at right now? 203. Okay. Good. Very good, especially since he reached out to you. I like the hate to be forward line. I use it all the time. It's very good. When I send over links, you can just come to chat and chat. All right, scroll down. Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know where to go after that. So I was like, want to get in shape? And I was like, then book a call, brother. Like, let's go.
Did he book in? Did he ever book? No. That's interesting. I don't like video calls. I would just drop him a voice note, maybe. So this is until you have a setter on board, you guys can do this, and it's like a hugely valuable thing. Like, honestly, Alfredo, I get it. It's not a worry at all. It has to be over phone. It's fine. But at the end of the day, you told me you want to go from. Tell him what he said. So I would just encourage you, man. You got to book in a meeting because I can really help you. It might be kind of awkward, but we should really do this. Just knock him a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Nice.
Sweet. Well, those are all the conversations that I. So.
Nice. All right, dude. How do you feel?
Very good. A lot more
Good.
clarity in these conversations, and keep it simple. That's what I gotta do with everything. Keep it simple.
Yep. Keep it really simple. Has this been a valuable call so far for everybody? The review part and everything? Good stuff so far? Cool. Nice. Let's do our next review. We've got next in line to do. Shoot, where did I ask for ones initially? I think we're doing Yusuf next. Yusuf, let's do it.
Awesome. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the page.
Okay. So again, we need to put a call to action in the bio. It needs to be there.
All right.
Where does this link tree go? Can you click it, please?
Testimonials.
Okay. Get rid of this.
Channel.
Get rid of this. It should just be this.
Okay.
So you don't even need a link
put
tree.
Calendly.
Yep. You don't need a link tree. It should just be Calendly.
All right.
Cool.
Why I cannot close this?
Probably right here, right? All right, cool. All right, let's look at your tracking sheet, please.
Okay. This is September.
Okay, cost per follow is good. Message to conversation really needs a lot of work here. Let's scroll up. Yeah, Convos is set 2% is pretty bad. So just so you guys know, like Convos is set generally, no, this is bucketing your inbound and outbound conversations. This number should look like anywhere from, depending on your marketplace, like low end 7%, like low end 7%. Higher end, probably 20%. If you're getting a lot more inbound and you've done a lot of content and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah. And just to give you guys a number too, I feel like this would be helpful. Anya asked me, actually, I said this in the intro when I prepared my content, the inbound to outbound percentages, how they should differentiate. But yeah, okay. So you definitely have a setting problem. You have a setting problem for sure. Just making sure that's the case. Let's move forward and look at your conversations, dude.
Awesome. So I'm gonna I want to show August. I'm doing the same ad. I had a better set rate, I believe, and I'm doing the same thing. And yeah, I don't know what happened, but also I'm not doing CTAs at the stories as well. I think
it's also just not that many. Yeah, the CTAs is going to help a lot. It'll vary a little bit, like week to week. I mean, this is basically a week's worth of data here, and then a week's worth of data last week, and your speed to lead will change a little bit. Your approach will change a little bit. Just being human, you want to keep it the same as best as you can, but it is kind of hard because it's a lot of weight on you just to do the exact same thing over and over again. So yeah, but let's go ahead and look at your Instagram here, because I don't think that variance is too big of a deal. Okay, cool. So this is somebody you messaged who liked your content then, yep?
Yep, he liked my content. It's outbound.
Okay. Hey, I just like your body. This guy flirting with you?
Yeah, bro, yeah, I'm getting this a lot.
You're getting a lot of people flirting with you?
Yeah, right. Sus comments I'm getting from ads, yeah.
Okay, so we might need to discuss that a little bit. Let's look at your ad, dude. Real quick. Just to make sure that we're not putting any signals that you're on the market.
Okay.
Yeah.
than all like text. I tried.
Okay. So you might try a video ad, dude, instead of like, so this is,
Got
just one
it.
of those like off in the weeds, like repercussions to the way that I coach that might not be good. For fitness coaches, if you're taking shirtless pics before and after, maybe you're gonna get some of that people flirting with you stuff. So I
Yeah.
would like make it a video ad. Hey, if you're a man trying to get confident, build muscle, and etc. I mean, try a video ad and just make it you on the screen. That could help a little bit. Yeah, and then hate comments are normal. So okay, let's review this.
All right. Do you recommend like closing this ad off that I'm currently running to get
No,
like
no. Keep it
precision?
running and just run a new one at very low budget and just look at the vanity
Uh-huh.
metrics. And if it starts to perform a bit more, just transfer over the spend.
All right.
Okay. Okay, pause it before it keeps going. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a good amount of information. Same with Joseph's, like it's a good amount of information,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. We get our students on our goals. Yep. Okay. Yeah, good discovery. Keep moving. So did this guy book or not?
I believe there's a book.
He
Yeah, he
doesn't book?
said, I'm sorry, he booked. He didn't share his email because he said, I'm not sharing my email with strangers. At
weird.
the end,
So use more voice notes, guys, to make yourselves more of a human. Little tip.
okay.
People are afraid to share, afraid to share information. They're afraid to whatever, show their voice. Like, little voice note goes a long way. You notice I opened that one with a voice note. It took me 10 seconds, I think. And it was just like, hey, saw your comment. Would love to reach out, get to know about you. Do you mind sharing with me why you want this resource? And then it was all text from there. But yeah, I mean, I like to lead with voice notes if I ever can. It helps a lot.
Okay. Then he booked. Then I said like 2 minutes before, hey, now what if I change my mind?
Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, scroll back on this. Let me see what happened before this. Okay. Just play it so I can just see it top to bottom. I want to see maybe where we might have lost their emotionality.
Okay.
I'm also just gonna control your screen just so we don't have to do this pause and start thing.
All right. It's yours.
Yeah. So here's the deal is a bad line. I hate to be forward is a much better line. So I would stop saying, so here's the deal. It's like, they're like, whoa, that's like a bit too much of a right hook. I've worked with 50 plus clients. I wouldn't do that either. Joseph's approach, I preferred a lot more. Similar situation, probably should have been light. That's good. But instead of here's the deal, worked with 50 plus clients. So I hate to be forward, but I think I could help you is much better. Much, much, much better. I hate to be forward, but I really think I could help you reach whatever the goal was. That's a much cleaner line there. How can you help me? Of course, they're going to ask that because you're saying clients. And so they want to be like, so what is this guy selling me? You know what I mean? So that's probably where you lost him, to be honest. That could be maybe where you lost him. Yes, why not? How much will this cost me? See, they're asking how much will it cost? Because you said client, 50 plus clients. I wouldn't use the word client ever. Yeah. Yeah. Booking a quick call. Yeah. Of course, they were going to make excuses because they don't want to get sold. And yeah, don't want to give my information to strangers, meaning I don't want you to sell me something. Yeah, I think it's probably where you lost him. I wouldn't use the word clients pretty much ever. Yeah, I would be like, I hate to be forward, but I really think I could help you reach da-da-da. You know what I mean? If you're gonna say clients, I just help this other person do something similar, you know, if I were to say anything like that. So yeah.
I always use that line, so yeah, I'm gonna change it.
Cool. Good.
Awesome.
Let's look at a few others, man. Look at a few other reviews. Look at a couple other conversations.
Yep. Do you want to control it?
Yeah, I'll control it again. And it's just good stuff so far. Put a 1 in the chat. You're enjoying this. Or give me a verbal too, if you don't mind. A little verbal like this is great.
Yes, sir.
This is great. I like this.
Awesome, man.
Great. Just making sure I'm not wasting your guys' time or mine. I'll make sure this is always valuable. Okay, let's keep watching.
This is inbound, by the way.
Okay, saw you comment.
Big
Cool. So
commanded
they
to
left
get,
a
yeah.
they left a comment. Okay, cool. I'm a skinny guy just trying to be like UG. I love that. It's awesome, brother. Saw it's possible for sure. Feeling asking questions sound good. Yeah, that works. I mean, I would lighten up a little bit maybe on like the approach. Like, I would just say, I love that, man. Can I ask you a few questions and see if I can help you? Just like the fewer words from you, the better. Just like you're just typing it and you're in the car with one hand. Like that's kind of like the attitude. You know what I mean? If you guys want to take a note of that, that's like how I like to type them. Okay, what's your weight right now? So generally, I would ask more open-ended questions. These are a little too pointed. What is your weight?
Yeah.
I like Joseph's question of where are you at on your fitness journey right now? Way more open-ended. They're going to be way more stuff. That's why Joseph's, because like what's interesting is if you give them the opportunity to get emotionally involved by explaining their story and giving you more information, then they end up emotionally involved. Does that make sense? But if you don't give them the door to do that, they won't be. So if you're asking these very specific questions, what is your weight right now? It's like, not best, more open-ended. Like I would say a good opener for your discovery is like, how's your fitness journey been so far, man? Tell me about like how long you've been in fitness and how's the journey been so far? Maybe something like that. It's either a little bit of like, okay, 3 years and it's been, like it's like the opener question in our sales calls. You get put in the chat or give me a verbal. What's the opening question after you've established how the call is going to go on your sales calls? What do we ask? We told them how the sales call is going to go.
What got you to book the call?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? So what is motivating you to spend some time with me today? You think about how open-ended that is and but how much information it gives us about them, right? So yeah, with this guy, you're kind of just being, it'd be like being on a sales call and it's like, all right, what's your weight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like let them talk about themselves a little bit. Give them some room to do that. Yeah. So that's one thing I would maybe adjust a bit more open-ended. Okay, I'll keep moving.
Okay.
Same as I started with, it's good personalizing it. Go back a little bit. That's the main goal. So you see how they're giving you such short answers here? This is probably because you gave them closed-ended questions instead of open-ended questions out the gate. So now they're learning to give you short answers. And short answers don't create emotional buy-in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're saying more, if your word count is above the prospect's word count, you're losing. Generally, is the rule. You want them talking. So because you asked closed-ended questions, now when you're saying and then you go into here's the deal, like their emotions aren't in it, and now you're right hooking them. This is not going to be a set. Did this guy set? It would surprise me if they did. Did they set?
I think he ghosted me at the end.
Yeah, so it's because you didn't give him an opportunity to get his emotions involved, and then you right hooked him with here's the deal.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. Cool. So I can watch the rest of this, but I mean, we already lost him in my opinion.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. Followed up because he didn't respond. Yeah, this makes sense, dude. Okay.
Gotcha.
I mean, we can do more review, but I think it's gonna be the same stuff, right, Yusuf?
Yeah, it's the same. So what do you recommend? Like after I asked like where you're currently at, he said I want to gain some weight, and like at some point I think
that would be just like Joseph's journey. Where are you at on your journey here? Like you guys can all do this, by the way. I could do this. Where are you at on your business journey? Where are you at on your personal finance journey? It's such a great, like, broad question. Very good.
Yeah. What about after that? Like, after asking his goals and struggles, do it have to be open-ended as well?
I mean, if you can lean open-ended, do it. If you physically can't, don't. Like,
okay.
Anytime you can squeeze an open-ended question, do that instead of a closed-ended question.
All right.
Yeah,
I was trying to force them.
You're thinking about it like it's almost like you, Yusuf, are trying to gather data, which like,
Yeah.
sure, really, you're trying to give them opportunities to get their heart in it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's probably maybe
Yeah,
a better way to think about it.
Yeah, man, I was forcing them to like be it close questions. Like I'm asking, like I have time, knowledge, motivation. I give them 3 choices here. I always do that, and they always pick one. Yeah,
Very closed
gonna do
ended.
that. Awesome. Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. I will do that. ASAP.
Great. Cool. Key takeaways from the 2 reviews we've done so far before we go into the next review. Anybody? Anybody got any?
Yeah, giving opportunities for people to put their heart into their answers with the questions, the open-ended questions that you ask them.
Cool. Let the prospect talk. It's going from Jacob. Joseph says motivation and emotional buy-in. For me, it's like don't say clients, say help, if anything.
Sound more human in the DMs.
Yup. Humanity sells.
Use
Joseph
voice
says,
messages.
yeah, voice message openers. That's like G mindset. You're gonna make way more money if you have the time to do it. Which, if you don't have a setter, you should have time to do it.
Same
Type
voice
like you're
message,
driving.
the opening message.
Yep, Mordecai, it's good. Audrey says we don't count, only the prospect matters. Yeah, it's all about the prospect, getting them to get involved in it emotionally. Joseph says type like you're driving in a car, one-handed. I actually think, no, bro, it's so funny I say that. I literally, that example I gave you guys, I said him in the car. I sent him the voice message. I was in the car. It's a voice message. And I was in the car, like, you know, just like, you just have to have that mentality about it. It's so funny that I say it because I literally was in the car when I said that guy. Treat every lead the same and see the conversation through. Yes, Fahad. You do not judge prospects. That is just beginner level mistake. If you're gonna judge them 7 weeks into a paid relationship and then be like, ah, man, yeah, I'm gonna give this guy a refund. That's when you judge them. Any sooner, you're being irresponsible. Does that make sense to everybody? Everybody clear on that boundary? You're setting that boundary way too soon, a lot of you. So I believe in being ethical. Don't get me wrong. I really don't think you should keep people in your program that you really shouldn't have sold. 100%. Totally agree with that. But that bar is not at the setting level. That is way too soon. Yes, Fahad. Because Fahad, you aren't even at 10 grand a month yet, dude. You don't have an ideal client. Does that make sense?
Fair enough.
Yep. You gotta be able to bend and work with the things that do come down your pipe right now. And it will synthesize into an ideal client over time. Your customer avatars are the collection of people that you've worked with that you enjoyed working with over time. It's not something you start with, then you go, in my opinion, in my assessment. So ideal client does not necessarily exist. You notice I don't anywhere in CB tell you to write out your ideal client. You generally have a marketplace you're going for. But like the customer avatar ideal thing, just I don't believe in that, man. Work with everybody that's willing to come through. If your ideal client is somebody that wants the outcome you're speaking to in your ad, which is most people following you, because that's where they're coming from. Cool. Does that make sense, dude?
Yeah, well, when I meant ideal client, like I try targeting people that are making over 100K in their business. And for instance, if I know someone's making 0, do I still pursue them? Do I still continue that conversation?
Yeah, totally. Because if they have the budget to try and get more leads for their business, even if they're not making 100K, you don't know. Maybe they have some funding. Maybe their brother's funding their business. Maybe they got like a bunch of money in the bank despite not doing 100,000 either. You know what I mean? You don't know. You just don't know.
Oh, that makes sense. Cool.
All right, let's move on to the next review. Who was next in line here? We had Joseph, then Yusuf. There was Max Dabrowski. Let's do it, man.
What's up, everybody? Cool. I only really have one. Let me show my screen real quick.
Cool.
Still, my ad kind of flunked. The one that was a winner just didn't take off for some reason, second boost. So,
Okay.
yeah, one conversation that came through. Do you want to
Sweet.
control it or try to scroll down?
Yeah, I will. I'll just have you scroll down.
Yeah, just move zoom.
Okay, purchasing both. Yeah, so again, this is a closed-ended question that you're starting with a closed-ended question. Now I'm willing to bet money that all of their answers are within one paragraph if we scroll down moving forward. I'm willing to bet. Now I don't know that, but I'd bet money. So because we're starting off with, are you this or this? We're like, hi, this. You know what I mean? So just a little more open-ended, like, hey Mika, thanks for following, dude. Tell me a bit about yourself and your hypnotherapy or coaching business. Open-ended. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do it at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's keep rolling. Now you're talking more than they're talking. So you are on top of the prospect here, right? If the marketer's on top of the prospect in terms of talk time, they're losing. So you're saying way more words than they're saying, which subliminally sends the message that you're trying harder than they are, which is not a good message. So let's keep going. Okay, there we go. So this guy's opening up a little bit. That kind of surprises me. This surprises me right here. I wasn't expecting this, but that's good to see. That shows that they're like a good dude and they get, they're not so directly opposed being talked to, but that surprises me. And I'm not even, by the way, necessarily looking at what you're saying. So far I'm just looking at the size of the texts. But this right here, 5% practicing hypno coaching for use 2, that's like that right there is a yes or no question. Right? You see what I mean? It's like yes, yeah. about 3. You know what I mean? So just trying to do more open, like get them involved, get them sharing about themselves. Right. Where are you located? He asked that to you. Okay, never mind. So all right.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I used to, like, the old way I was doing it was getting them to say yes or no to start the whole conversation with cold. So I guess I gotta un-F myself with this inbound. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Yeah. If they're coming to you, like technically they're slightly warmer inbound, having responded to the lead than they are like a pure, true cold DM. Pure, true cold DM, yeah, you should probably do the yes or no stuff, so it's easy to answer to. Low barrier of entry for them to make effort on the conversation. But this is semi-warm inbound because they responded to an ad. So yeah. Okay.
Copy.
Okay. Okay. So far, man, we haven't asked anything to the tune of like, so the journey angle, the where are you at right now? Tell me a bit about your business. Just like, we haven't gotten like a number of where they're at, an idea of where they're at. We know where they're based and how long they've been doing it for, but like not much that would help us inform us about them. So, and again, I think that kind of is downstream from the way we begin the conversation, potentially a little bit. But yeah, let's keep going. Keep scrolling. Yeah, so this is becoming what I would call just like a cyclical conversation where you're just like, you say something and then they say something and you say something. It's not like a straight line. It's just kind of like, we're just kind of like, hey, this about me. Aha, cool, that's dope. And this about you. Oh, sweet. It's just like, it's not like, if you were to start with a more open-ended and giving him more, maybe earlier on, more opportunity to get himself involved, talking about himself, because everybody loves talking about themselves. You actually make way more sales and get way more bookings when your prospects do 90% of the talking, right? You make way more money. And so, I think, I don't know, scroll up for me. When did he initially start asking you questions? Scroll up.
I think this one to the location.
Okay.
That's it.
So, yeah, I think a part of why he started asking you questions about yourself is because you started talking about yourself. My fiance and I run a hypnosis and coaching school. My co help. Now he thinks you're just having a friendly conversation talking about yourself. And he's like, oh, cool. I'll just chill with this guy that I just met. He's cool. But that's not like the frame that we're supposed to go for. So don't talk about yourself. He doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now he thinks he's allowed to talk about you when that's creating a cyclical circle conversation. Don't talk about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Makes sense.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we lost it kind of from the get because of those things, but did you offer a call with him?
Yeah, I did. But it's kind of like he's kind of like, yeah, maybe, like he's not
Yeah,
like
because it's
bought
cyclical.
in,
It's
right?
not straight line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if he hops on the call, he'll be like, "Yeah, dude. So how's the weather, man?" And he's like, "Yeah, maybe me and my fiance, your fiance, you and I can go hang out sometime." Like, yes, okay.
Which is weird because this flow works so well for cold, but I can see exactly what you're saying. It's just like wishy-washy. It's not what I want. So I need to make it more linear.
Wishy-washy. It is wishy-washy, and you're talking too much about yourself.
Yeah. Okay. If I could just show you the ending here, like,
yeah, that's a big wall of text, dude. Yeah,
I know. Screwed it up. Messed that one up. But I did the open to seeing this thing for you. That's just from another program, different script. So I'll scrap that completely. And then this is the wishy-washy, like, okay, might be interesting, So
yeah. And he also, it seems like he waited like a couple days to even get back to you on that too. So it's like, yeah. Okay. So lost him from the get because we talked about ourselves and we didn't ask open-ended questions. So we're about to diagnose and prescribe. Diagnosis, you talked about yourself way too early on. You asked very closed-ended questions. Solution, ask open-ended questions. Don't talk about yourself.
Okay. Solution. Yep. Okay. Got it. So open-ended. So tell me about your journey. And then I guess kind of similar to what that Joseph did. He had his script, right? Open-ended. Okay. Cool. I'll work on that. I'll improve that.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, dude. And let's just, while we're at it, man, I mean, off recording, we just recognized that a part of why Max's ad isn't working is because he's not doing what we taught here. A bad ad doesn't have a clear who. He says, hey, if you're a hypnotherapist or a coach or something like that, it needs to be one. So make it one. That's a big part of why his cost per follow is downstream so expensive and why his cost per message and set is so expensive because there's not a clear who. And this can be quite hard, Max. I sense a kind of a creativity in you and kind of like an expressive nature through your business. You need to allow that energy to go somewhere else and just pick one thing forever with this until you put $1 million in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the same way, dude. I have a hard time picking one thing, and I've traditionally had a very hard time with just like sticking to one angle, but you gotta do it. Otherwise, you're missing a lot. So
copy that. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Cool. Let's move on to the next review, and we'll do how many more you guys got in you guys? Could you guys like be here all day? Could you do like 1 or 2 more? Like, tell me where you guys are at. Verbal. Let me know where you're at. How you feeling?
Do 2 more.
Got time.
2 more, Mordecai says. Joseph says you could be here all day. Who else?
I have a call at 6, so make sure to get done 30 minutes before that so I can prepare.
And it's almost 10 p.m. for me, so I won't be making it any longer. Not that much longer.
Okay. Do you guys have one left in you then? One good review?
Let's do one review.
Let's do a quality review. I'm not just gonna do the next one in the chat. What I'm looking for is somebody. Let's do somebody who's got a winning ad. So cost per follower $3, $2.50 or less. Let's say $2.50 or less, $3 or less maybe. You've had at least 30 conversations total. This review and this look, and it could be even a succeeding business that maybe wants to improve. Because so far it's been a lot of people that are kind of getting moving. Anya, let's do Anya. Anya, let's make you some money.
All right. I pulled up some that and I'm a little bit hoarse right now because I'm sick, but I'm trying to pull up. I got mine right here. And to be fair, I have only recently started using the tracking sheet, as in last week, because I hopped on a call and got a kick in the pants about the fact that I haven't been using it. So trying to find my screen here.
The mean person in me must be like, well, I'm not reviewing your thing then.
Right, yeah. I mean, that would be
but
understandable.
7 days is enough, I guess. Yes, it's almost enough. It's just enough where we have some informed decisions we can make.
Okay, can you see my screen here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I literally started on Friday, but basically my cost per follow, and this is I had it tracked somewhere else. This is when I'm just now tracking in this spreadsheet, but my cost per follower is insanely low. And so I only currently my spend is only like $10 a day because I turned it down because I was also having trouble keeping up with messages. So I started back, I'm at $10 a day. Basically once as soon as I can get a better hold on messages, I plan to increase that probably later this week.
Okay.
But I've set up 4
So
meetings.
so we've got 2 days of data. 2 days of data.
Yeah, literally
Let me do this.
on the spreadsheet.
I'm
Yeah.
going to make sure that I get to you, Anya, to review. Let's pull up like 1 or 2 conversations. I'll do my best with you, but I don't know the macro context within what I'm helping with. You know what I mean? Like I can't see the whole thing. Come back to a group call with at least a week's of data, 7 days of inputted data, and I'll be able to actually really, really help you. But
yeah,
let's do some review nonetheless.
Okay.
Sweet.
So do you just want, I have some pulled up that I did set, and then some that I had kind of a question about how to follow up on. So I guess I can start with one that I have set. So I did this one, and this is actually kind of an older conversation that I followed up with. Let me go to like a newer one that okay. So and I guess just let me know when to scroll.
Okay. So this was outbound to a new follower, yeah?
Yes, it was.
Okay, sweet. Hello, I'm learning. Start my budget. Yeah, I like how are things going for you. You see the difference in like how are things going for you? It's good. It's very vague, open. How are things going for you? Financially, otherwise, I like that as well. You know, it just kind of gives some opportunity for again an open-ended conversation. So this is good so far. The response, so hitting them at 11, it makes sense that they responded the next day because they're probably in bed. But I mean, I imagine that was just like a 2-minute speed to lead thing, which is good. So let's keep looking. Scrolling. I like that. They sent you a picture of your podcast. Okay. I love what does it mean for you? That's a great question. What does it mean for you to have? So like Yusuf, Joseph, you guys can pull from this, like especially Yusuf, because he's like, what's your weight? What's your goal weight? You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean to you to XYZ? Credit profile together, paying off credit cards, 4 high rate loans, okay. Cool. You notice, can somebody tell me what she's not doing real quick? Like that is a good thing that she's not doing. I just called out
Talking
Max
about
just now.
herself.
Yep, talking about herself. So far, not a lot of, hey, I relate. I was in the same position. I went through da-da-da. My credit was here too, and I had to stop. It's all about them. Very good. Totally get that. It can be difficult. A little bit of affirming can be helpful. That's good. So if we get the ideal budget in place, what's your ideal financial situation? You notice it's again still vague. It's not like, what do you want your credit score to be? You know what I mean? It's like, what's your ideal financial situation? Great question. I want to be able to open an IRA. Okay. Again, a lot of text, which shows me their emotions are involved, which is good. Oh, this is new. I've never seen that before. I like that, Anya. Okay. I'd love to get on a call. Talk about how you get on. Okay, did they end up setting Anya?
They did, yeah.
Okay, sweet. I'd be surprised if they didn't. So I'll tell you guys what Anya did right. Did not talk about herself. Open-ended questions. Okay. And I mean, I assume speed to lead was pretty quick considering it was 11 p.m., correct?
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, 2-minute speed to lead. So bang. I mean, just reaffirming what you're doing right here, Anya. There's not a lot I would change necessarily. I mean, it's doing pretty well. I actually, instead of looking at your conversations, Anya, let's look at your page. So I want to show you some things that maybe I would do to just get more inbound opportunity because your setting's good.
Okay.
So what are you doing when they download this free budget template? What's happening there?
So I mean, my goal was to grow my email list to have another source of sending out, like controlling that. But at the same time, I'm actually kind of thinking I'm not there yet. I was thinking maybe offering that as the free resource in the stories that you were talking about, but having a booking link in the actual.
Yep. Yeah, make that Calendly. I totally agree with your thought there. Make that a Calendly. Make this a call to action with a keyword. Okay, you're gonna get a little extra jump there that'll increase things by like 20% for you, just out the get. Okay. The other thing is, let's scroll down for me real quick. It's all tweets. I would love to see you on camera. Client is the camera. Now, okay, you did that down here. How did these go?
The reason I stopped doing them was because it is such a barrier for me to actually film the content. Now that's something I need to get over, but I had started just taking action and posting the tweet post because it was easier for me to do that. But yeah.
So, I mean, the tweet post can work. Are you creating hooks for people to comment, like comment this if you want this, or etc. at the very last slide? Or in a caption at all?
Did you say like posting call to actions? Yeah, you cut out for a second. See.
Yes, call to actions at the very last slide, or on the, okay, if you want to get control of finances, DM the word learn. I would love to make are you saying learn on all of your Twitter posts? Like DM me learn on all of them?
No, I started putting different words on different posts just to see which ones were working. And so there's like control. Let's see. I think this one maybe. See, I didn't post it on that one because I also heard you don't want to put a call to action on everything. But let's see. Yeah. That one I didn't either. I think I put control. No, I put me on this one. Okay. Testing that one.
Cool. All right. So one thing that I really, I agree, we have to get over the barrier of entry of making content. It was really, really gonna help your business just to sit down, and you will grow the muscle. Like I'm telling you, if you can coach people, and I know you've moved to group setting now too, right? Have you officially?
It keeps cutting out. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Okay. Have you officially moved to group setting in your program?
I have. Yes, I have.
Okay. So I promise you, filming content, here's what you should do, honestly, Anya. Block off for the next 2 weeks a half hour following your group calls, and your phone or a camera is good to go, and your ideas will just be whirring, and just film like 5 and just get them done. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create, my brother and I are doing this. We're just going to have a 2-week content cycle. We don't need to make new content. Just for short form, just reuse the stuff that got a lot of comments. Sooner than 2 weeks reposted, though. Shorter than 2 weeks, people kind of half of it is reused that we know works and gets engagement and likes and comments and whatever. The other half is we're throwing new stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So then you don't have to make new content in order for your page to get comment interactions and likes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, your setting is great, Anya. I mean, I wouldn't change much. It's not your setting. I'm trying to get you more warm inbound opportunity here. The other thing is, what is your story cadence look like? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What does your weekly story look like?
So I honestly, and this has been another thing, is like for a while I was afraid to post stuff on my story in terms of call to actions because I was like, I'm not posting, and so people think I'm only gonna be asking for them to join my program. And so like that is another thing. I mean, I also need to post some personal things on my story as well. I've just never been good at social media, so it doesn't even cross my mind, unfortunately, but that is something I need to get over. But yeah, so I post probably, I mean, I post very inconsistently on my story, probably at this point twice. I mean, probably 3 times a month, 4 times a month, in terms of actual call to actions. But
yeah, so let's habitualize Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that routine. Let's get some short form going up. Clients the camera, hook value is the framework, and 30 minutes following your group calls, your ideas will be just whirring. Change your link from the resource, which I get trying to build an email list, trust me, but yeah, you're right. It's way too early for you. Don't need that. A calendar link's going to serve you way more. And then a word in your bio for people to message you is going to be a lot. Okay.
Can I ask, so originally the thing that was in my bio, and actually if you click on that link, it also has my podcast in it, but I was also trying to get the email list going. I originally had just the link to my podcast in there because what I discovered, it was building authority. People were reaching out to me saying they had listened to my podcast, they enjoy the podcast, all of that. Is that something that is a broader brand building picture that I'm thinking of with that as well? should I be focusing more short term? Because I'm also putting call to actions on my podcast. I booked calls from my podcast.
I would
what are
make your
thoughts on that?
podcast a part of your story cycle weekly.
Okay.
Yep.
So changing the
push it.
link. Oh, okay.
I
got
would,
you.
say, hey, have you followed my podcast? Vote, poll, yes or no. Put the link there, right?
Okay.
Because even so, you're saying you're pushing your podcast with a link. Yes, but your bio doesn't say that. Download my free monthly budget template. You click it. Then one of the options is your podcast. If you're really pushing the podcast,
Right.
like that's
Yeah.
what you're pushing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Now
I know
it
you said,
used to be the podcast, and I changed it to the monthly budget template.
yes, I hear you. Okay, so then podcast becomes a part of your, maybe on Saturdays you push podcast on the story.
Okay.
And what I do is you just put it in your Google Calendar. 10-minute block. First thing you do that day is that story that's required that day, and just habitualize
Okay.
it. If you have a
Gotcha.
morning routine, put it into that morning routine. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, you podcast. If you're gonna push
Okay.
that, and then also, I'll also say, if you can do a podcast, you can do short form, easy. If your podcast is valuable, clips from your podcast even could work.
Yeah.
The problem with clips from something is it's harder to make them like really potent because it has to be a really good clip. So the clips from things tends to be more of like a volume game than a quality game. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool, Anya. Does that sound helpful? Is that all good?
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
We'll start tracking.
Yeah, start tracking. And then, come to a call and we'll have the numbers right in front of us. And you're using the up-to-date sheet?
I am.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick logistical question about tracking?
Yep.
So like basically, how is everyone doing? Like when you're saying I got this many followers per day, do I literally just need to note like where I left off? Like this follower was where I left off last in terms of username, and then just count up from there. Like how's everybody logistically doing that?
That's how most people are doing it, and it can be somewhat loose. That number beyond a certain level of success, when you're just getting started, you want to be pretty tight, and so you know where things are breaking. For you can be like 80% accurate, and it's fine.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. But usually I would just go to there's a website. This is a little hack. You guys know Social Blade by chance? You can put in your Instagram profile and it'll show you how much you grew. I used to use this back when I was a YouTuber, and I was looking at how much other YouTubers grew their channel back when I was a Minecraft YouTube channel. And Instagram, put in your Instagram name, boom, and then you can see how much it's growing or shrinking, and it'll show you its daily growth. Oh, you gotta make an account, but then it'll show you its daily growth right there. So that's one way to get it. Socialblade.com. Cool. And then Jacob's saying on Instagram, if you go on your phone and look at like notifications and see yesterday, you can count the followers. That's an easy way to do it too. There's many different ways to do it, but it just kind of needs to be like 80% accurate. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap today's appointment setting bootcamp call. Is this good for everybody?
Very helpful.
Cool. You guys feel equipped to go out and book 2 to 5 times more meetings than you did coming in?
Yeah.
Great. Any key takeaways before we wrap? And make it verbal. Don't give me chat. Make it verbal.
I actually
Not making it about yourself at all.
I couldn't hear it.
Making it about the client is really important. Like, you can relate without going into your own story. I think that's critical.
Totally. What else?
Cameras, client, hook value for content. Definitely. Just make it simple.
Cool. And then a caption is a word to message you or comment. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
Keep it open-ended. Oops.
Sorry, Max. Yeah, open-ended and having a clear story schedule, CPA tool, and resource.
Nice.
I have like 10 key takeaways that I wrote down. If I can share my screen, and I'd love to show it.
Yeah, let's do it. That'd be awesome.
This is Notion, by the way.
Cool.
If you guys are familiar with that. But key takeaways: when to hire an appointment setter when you're closing 25% at least, and you're able to pay them $4 to $5K per month, $1,000 base salary, and 5 to 7% commission.
I would add that you're also
Story-
closing group with no more than 2 hours of one-to-one commitment per client, because otherwise that becomes the next bottleneck. Yep.
So one. Okay. I'll add
Cool.
to that later. But story post. And then never use the word client, use other word, or even if you can avoid using the word client altogether, that's great. And call out your ideal prospect in your ad, pick one only. So in my case, I'm currently doing this wrong. I'm calling out realtors and brokers. I know I need to focus on one. So that's something I need to fix, but content can be recycled after 2 weeks. That's another takeaway that I had. I'll post this in school if you guys are interested, but yeah, these were just my major takeaways.
Nice. Good stuff. Any others? And then we'll wrap. And we'll do we're doing the same time tomorrow. So 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We'll do day 2, just more review.
And also the point about feeling salesy is a good one. About, I think you said the 9 to 5 beginner mindset is to try to hide behind what you're doing, but really just wear it on your sleeve. So just embrace what you're selling. Don't feel salesy when you're doing it, and put out the CTAs.
Nice. Very good. All right, guys. I feel great about this. It was a really valuable call. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for day 2.
It's good.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Thank
All right. Appointment setting bootcamp day 2. We're just doing only review today. So we're going to dive into individual students' businesses, look at the tracking sheet, look at their messages, help them book more meetings. We're starting with Liam Conlon. Let's do it, dude.
Okay, so let me just share. And to be honest with you, I wanted to come on because I've basically my messaging. It's one thing I haven't changed much, man. I'll be honest with you, it's just been quite similar the whole way through, and it's obviously worked. It's obviously working to an extent, but a little tweak might get me an extra sales calls a week or a month, and that's the difference, isn't it? So,
okay.
Let me see here.
So let's just start. Let's just start here as I'm just looking at your profile. So, just a little thing. There's no mechanism here that I'm seeing. So like a big one is how I went from here to here using this strategy or mechanism. That really helps. We go back to the intro module in the course. We've added it recently. Why people buy coaching, and watch that module today. Understand that people want outcomes and they want quick and easy way of achieving outcomes. And if your mechanism sounds believable, but new, low barrier of entry and replicatable, then you'll get a lot more traction from cold traffic. So mechanism in the bio. The other thing is add a little bit of thing here, make it like a 1-to-1 call. So I'd say a 1-to-1 consult with me here. If you can squeeze both those in, that'll help a lot. Okay. I think we told Anya to do this yesterday. She's literally already booked 2 meetings since I said, yeah, just put your link in your bio. So that's pretty cool. So, awesome. And we did very similar on her business. So let's look at your tracking sheet, please. Okay. Unless you have something else you want to share here.
No, sorry, mate. I was to say 1-to-1 with me, and the other thing was the mechanism. Okay.
Mechanism.
That module.
Mechanism.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep. Okay.
Perfect. How do I actually get this thing out of the way at the top of my screen again? Oh, there we go. Okay. So Google Sheets, that should be on here. And honestly, man, what nights do you still do I know this is off topic slightly, I hope you don't mind. Do you still do the sales? I'd love to go over my sales as well, because paying in full is something that I need to work on.
We'll be doing more sales review. I mean, really, if all I did was setting review and sales review and just drilled it over and over and over and over again, we'd be in a good spot. So yeah, we plan to do more of those. Let's look at August.
Okay, here we go. And again, it's not been that much spend. Again, this is one thing I want to say. Revenue very good, to be honest with you, but cash collected, because I need to work on the pays and fills. So that's one thing I would say.
Have you scroll up here? Let me just see. Have you updated to the newest sheet? Scroll up. Okay, cool. You're good there. Good.
Yeah.
So
everything across.
Okay, so scroll down to the bottom. Let me see the averages of convos to set here. I'm looking for this right here. Okay, so we're at 2%. That's really bad. We need to up this. So this tells me you actually do have a setting problem. Really, you want that number to be, and this should be inspiring, because it's like, okay, we really do have a leaking in the business here. So this number, this number should be like 7%, in my opinion, up to even like 15% if you're really good. Now the thing is, it's not going to be much higher, because this is both inbound and outbound. So this is people that messaged you and people you messaged. Okay. So inbound, you should book like 25 to 35%. Outbound should be like 5 to 10. Okay. Just about. So these average right around here. You see what I mean? Okay. Your cost per follower, crushing. $1.34. That's phenomenal. And I imagine that's stayed about the same moving into September now.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
Okay,
and honestly, I've noticed that it doesn't really matter what ad. Right now I'm running like a value ad. Just it's a simple thing. Doesn't really matter that it seems to stay about the same. So yeah, I mean, look, if 2% is bad, I mean, even I'm glad that you've noticed that, right? Because even from my point of view, I mean, if that was even 4%, I could double my revenue a month. You know what I mean? It's weird. Although it's very low, if I could even at least double it or treble it, then
we'll easily double it today, dude. I mean, I almost can guarantee. So let's move to the right. Let's just look at your total return just real quick, just for August. Cool. Okay, so we're at 2 on cash, 8 on rev. So I agree. You definitely have a setting and sales problem in your business. So when we do another sales training review, bring some of your calls. Have you watched our old sales review yet?
Is this the one for like the group call?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have, mate. So I'll watch that.
So watch that for sure. Okay. Last thing I'm looking at. So I'll look at closing rate. Scroll up. Let me just make sure I know which one of these columns is closing rate. I forget. Closing rate. Scroll down. Dude, your closing rate's actually quite good. It's quite good. It's quite good. It's very, very nice.
One thing I wanted to ask as well, my closing rate's good. This is my show up rate. Okay, so I don't know, is that below average? And is that to do with my messaging as well?
You're gonna want 70% show rate, at least, and a lot of that is going to be Calendly sending text and email notifications for the call. Okay, that's going to be you morning of confirming the meeting over Instagram. Okay. And that's going to be also your setting strategy, which we're going to be reviewing today right now. So cool, man. So let's look at your setting then, dude. Get it straight.
That's cool. Let me find a conversation. Let me see. Let me have, for example, this is a guy here. I think he's just signed up today as well. So
cool.
Let me just start with one. So let me just show you all what I would do. I'll go down to what I would do for the opening message. This is kind of the thing that I've been sending every time to new followers. Okay. So I gave him a follow, thought I'd welcome to my account, how are things going? Either that or it would be something like, hey, Abel, hope all is well where you are. So you give me a follow.
So I like this. One thing though is pretty much all your followers are coming from your ad, right?
That's true.
So I would ask instead of how are things going, that's like, what am I even talking about? Like, how's my day going? Like I would be like, thanks for the follow. Thought I'd welcome you to my account. You help people recover from alcohol addiction, right, Liam? So I would say, how are things going? But instead of how are things going, I'd say, how is your journey with recovering from your alcohol addiction going, or how is your relationship with alcohol recently? Just get right to it. I know it's kind of a heavy hitter to get right up in there, but like I would add some context to this initial opening message, because a part of why it's left on scene is probably like, okay, how do I even answer that? Like, where do I go with this? So it's open-ended, but you're still giving them a direction to go in. Okay.
Perfect.
So I would maybe change that opener a little bit there. So let's look at a few others here. And it looks like you've been using this for a lot of your conversation. How's it going? Yeah.
Honestly, it's massive. But let me just see. Okay, here's a guy that I was talking to today. Well, again,
Cool.
good. Thanks. How are you? This is always what I would ask if,
Okay.
sometimes people just tell me straight up what's wrong with their drinking, but I like the fact
Yeah.
of saying it straight to it because it saves so much of my time, by the way,
Yeah.
doing that, to be honest. Instead of the small chat.
So here's one thing, man. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, watch day one of the appointment setting because I talked about most of your problem. And by the way, guys, everybody watching this recording or everybody here live that hasn't already watched day one, go watch day one. The first 30 minutes of day one, I talk about how to create more warm inbound opportunity. Half of your setting problem isn't the conversations, it's not getting enough warm inbound. So we talk about optimizing your profile, content, bio, mechanism, ad, all these things all the way up your system. So I'm reviewing Liam's business. However, he wasn't on day one, so he hasn't made those changes yet. So it's a little bit macro out of context with where I want you guys to be. But let's review these anyway. Thank you, Fahad, for that, dude. I know you said you wrote your takeaways. Just put it in the chat. But I'll have the recording up this evening, actually, of both. So let's go ahead and look at this. Scroll to the very top, Liam. Yep. Okay, got it. So this is actually the beginning. So again, I think adding alcohol as a context is going to help. But let's keep reading.
Okay, 2 seconds, just writing that down, mate. Sorry.
Yep. Good. Thanks. How are you? See, this response makes sense because you're not giving them context up here. They're like, good. Thanks. How are you? How are things going? I'm good. How are you? That's how a lot of responses be like, I'm pretty good. How are you? It's like very vague. So I'll be like, how are you doing on your alcohol recovery journey? Be honest. That'd be kind of dope, Okay. And that'd be a pretty neat way to open things up. I would try that. Now you're working with like no context here. There's like nothing happening. Glad to hear it. Things are well on mine. Can't complain. Just curious what led you to give me a follow. Always keen to feedback. This is not necessarily following the straight line. It's not like we're not in discovery about them. We really should be in discovery about them as soon as possible. Right. And then let me guess, he just links your ad, right?
Yeah, he does, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to if you watch yesterday's training, what you're doing when you're appointment setting is you're giving them open doors to get their emotions involved. You're asking them about them on a real level. Now, if they're a business owner, this might be a bit different. Maybe just get them opening a door about their business or whatever. But most people, B2C, a lot of you, emotional doors, and even business owners still emotional doors. So where are you at in your business growth journey? You know what I mean? How long have you been doing this for? Like, where are you at in your addiction recovery journey or alcohol recovery journey? Whatever. Journey is a great word. How long you've been recovering from it for? Just getting them asking open-ended questions within context of the outcome you drive, getting them to share. This is nothing. I have literally zero emotional buy-in from this guy. I'd be surprised if they booked. Did they end up booking?
This guy did not actually, so I don't think so. But yeah, man, I completely get it, man. The convo's completely dead, to be honest.
People make decisions with their emotions and then justify them with logic. The decision to book a meeting with you will be an emotional decision. The more open doors we can give them to share where they are now and talk about themselves, the more likely they are when we hit them with the, hey, I hate to be forward, but I really feel I could help you drive this outcome. Are you free sometime next week? We can chat. The more likely they are to respond to that because they themselves have emotionally invested into this. Does that make sense? So because we didn't give them context of the outcome we drive them, alcohol, and we didn't let them open up, they're not being sold emotionally. So we can keep reviewing, but I'd say we lost this kind of from the start. And I think a lot of your setting is being lost from the start if you continue with that how are things going opener.
Yeah, and to be honest, mate, that's genuinely like, this is what I'm saying. It's been, look, I'm not saying, as I said, like nearly hitting 10K revenue last month. It's, with this, I've been doing that, but I know for a fact that compared to other people, like my especially 2%, mate, that's not good enough. And especially if you say 7% is the standard. I mean, if I could treble, if I could get that 6-7% use what I watched that training from yesterday, mate, like I'm fine with that. Like, and that's why I come on, because I don't know why I've just been doing this whole thing for about a month and a half now, and I've just been sticking to what I used with Facebook, and I've just thought to myself, like, why haven't I changed it? Why haven't I actually been on the call to check it? I'm just like, And
so 50% of getting to 7%, I'm just going to tell you here, 50% of the work of getting the 7% set rate is optimizing your page for more warm inbound. Okay. Which you could watch yesterday's training. The other 50% is your setting strategy, which I think we've already identified a big leak, which is how you're opening the conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, and they work the odd time as the stats show, but it's not.
Yep.
I need to be more like invested in their situation. Here's what.
Yep. And a part of why, Liam, it's hard for you to stay consistent with this is you're working so hard for so little.
Yes, that's what I feel like, mate, and especially see now that I'm going to be straight on subject with them. It means that I have to do less. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm just having conversations for the sake of conversations, mate. And I'm like racking my brains, like, what do I ask next? I just need to be forward with it. And honestly, I think with my closing is right. I know this is it's different. I honestly feel like I just need to be more forward with my closing and more assertive. And I think I need to do that with my messaging as well. I think that might be an overall assertiveness, might be an overall
every
thing.
single one of you have to accept, you have to press that mental button in the back of your head. Think about it this way, the only reason somebody's following you if you're doing things the way we teach is because they desire a better outcome for themselves. You have to press that button in the back of your head. I'm an authority. I can help this person. Done. Check. I can be forward with them. I can get right to the elephant in the room. How are you doing with your alcohol addiction, my friend? How are you doing with personal finances? How are you doing on your fitness journey? How are you doing on your business journey? How are you doing on, Martawan, finding your job, your career journey? Right to the thing. We're not trying to. We don't have to build rapport and reciprocity and buddy them to get them to book a meeting. We don't. We have to address the elephant with most of these people, and they will actually appreciate that. Yeah, that's why they followed you, dude, in the first place. If you run your business where we teach you, you don't have to buddy. You don't have to earn your way into. You don't. They're here because they desire the outcome that your ad spoke about.
100%. And okay, great. Listen, that's great. I mean, I don't know why I've stuck with it so long. I mean, probably because it was working to an extent, and I mean, obviously, business is in a much better place than it was when it started. Obviously, so, but it's good to know because I was starting to feel a bit drained with it, and I knew I didn't know what the average stats were, but I knew for a fact after looking at that at the end of last month that I was like, right, something's not right here. So thank you for that.
That's why we built the sheet, man. Cool, Liam. I mean, dude, I think that's about as much as I can do for you, dude. Like warm up your profile, watch yesterday's recording, fix your opener, fix your mindset here about what you're even doing. What you're doing, you're not buddying people. You're getting clarity. You're getting a full picture of where they are now in context to the outcome that you drive in your business. And I'm trying to talk to everybody here while also talking to you, Liam. You're getting where are they now, full picture, and in relationship to the outcome that you help people with, right? And then once they've told you that full picture, you ask them a little about their goals and where they'd like to be in the future and how they'd like to be there. And then you say, man, I hate to be forward, but I really believe I could help you reach goal. Let me know if you're free sometime this week or next week or whatever, and we can have a chat about it. And if you have a student that's sort of like them, you can be like, I have somebody I helped. Don't say student, don't say client. I have somebody I helped who went from here to here, right? That was very similar to you, and maybe it could be the same story for you. Who knows? Do you want my link? Or if you have somebody you've helped. If you don't need to drop that, but it does help a little bit. Then when you drop the link, you say, I'm at my computer for the next 5 minutes or so. Pop it in now so I can make sure the time works on my end and on your end. That way you add a little bit of like scarcity to the booking and then lock them in.
Okay, brilliant, mate. To be honest with you, like obviously this is what we're in here for, but like I honestly feel like that's like put a weight off my shoulders already because my thumbs have been going mad for a month and a half, and I've just been, because I've been getting somewhat results from it, I've just been like, right, I've just had my head down and I've just been working, but I need to take a step back and come on here, and I feel so much better for that.
Yeah, once somebody has in detail described where they are now, like their emotions are involved. What's your goals?
Absolutely.
Got it. I think I could help you. You know what I mean? It's about getting them involved by asking open-ended questions in the direction of the context of the outcome that you drive. Not buddying people. Yeah.
Okay. Could I just ask quickly about, do you want to do something quickly? I don't know. Obviously, you're not in the same business as me, but I was going to ask you about, I don't really want to take up time, about stories like call-outs, call to actions.
We covered that yesterday.
Oh, you did? Brilliant. I'll go and watch the video, man. I'll go watch the video. Brilliant.
Great. Okay.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Yep, got you. Let's move on to, I know I'm calling somebody out. I don't know if they're ready for it, but Martwan, are you cool if we review your business, dude? And then I want to go whoever's next in line. But I just feel like there's going to be a lot of opportunity to improve this, and I know you've got some momentum right now. So you down to review you? Oh, you're muted, my friend.
Yes, I am, and I got my wife like sitting on the side, like
nice.
We're looking at the tracking sheet, and yeah, dude, like my thing right now, and I'll let you own this conversation, Trey, because I need your help, man. But I feel I'm getting so many follows that I'm like the sheet. I don't even know how to like quantify like I just in like 3 days I think I got like 900 followers, and I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just.
So here's what you're gonna do. Here's what you're gonna do. Okay. Simple solution. You're gonna use this website called socialblade.com. There you go. Somebody else got me to it in the chat. You're gonna put in /Instagram/user/you, and it's gonna tell you how you're going day by day. You just gotta log in and set up an account. It's gonna show you every single day's growth, and you're just gonna use that for the tracking sheet. Okay. The other thing you're gonna do, and I should probably update the Instagram marketing system training with some of this stuff, because as we've been teaching it, even I've been noticing the places you guys are getting stuff, but that's a solution there. And then if you're getting so much followers, you might stop doing 2-minute speed to lead follow and do 2-minute speed to lead comment like on other pieces of content, not just your ad, and polls, story call to actions, and other sources, because you might have enough of an abundance where you can start to move to more warm sources of conversations.
Got you. So in the beginning, I was doing every follow that came, I was shooting them a message, and it quickly was like, I can't manage that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm gonna just do what I can. I'm gonna spend an hour and do it now, and then I would do an hour, and then I would get 200 more or something crazy, and I'm like, and so you just feel like, all right,
it's just too much. Yeah. So yeah, I would once you're. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say complete transparency. I'm running an ad right now at $50 a day over the course of 7 days. So that is like probably, I mean, it's pretty, yeah.
I mean, you're gonna flood yourself if you're spending more. I'll kind of put a number on it. I hate putting numbers on things because it's like sometimes it's different for a specific student, but vaguely, if you're spending more than $30 and your cost per follower is beneath $2, like $30 a day, $2 or less, it's going to get harder and harder to do the follower thing of messaging all the followers. You can start to move towards more warm inbound opportunity mechanisms like polls, call to actions, giving away resources, the link in your bio. One of the big ones for Connor Ricky's business that I trained his setter on is just messaging likers of other pieces of content on the feed other than the ad. Like that tends to show like that they're interested, you know what I mean? So it's like that's another source of warm outbound. So warm outbound to poll responders, warm inbound outbound to call to action responders on the story. Put your discovery link in your bio, Calendly link, and then if they like other pieces of content other than the ad, that's like going to be your main source if you have too much of an abundance of new followers. Yeah. So for tracking Social Blade and for optimizing your time, that.
Cool. Got it. Already logged into Social Blade, doing that.
Good.
Can I show you a setting conversation?
Let's look at your tracking sheet, your page. Okay. Let's start from the top, and then we'll get micro as we go.
Hang on. So let me share total transparency. It is a hot mess because my Zoom is not. I got a new computer. My Zoom is not allowing me to share. I would have to log out and then come back.
That's chill. You can come right back and we'll keep it going.
Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I'll come right back.
Okay, sweet. Hey. We'll come right back. That's all good. Sweet. But does what I just told Martwan make sense to everybody? Like once you get a certain influx, speed to lead follower is tough to maintain. You kind of have to move to more inbound warm opportunities because if you're getting like more than 50 a day followers, bruh, it's just ridiculous. And then, the people that you would have set had you message the follower, there'll probably be like a 30% discrepancy to the people that you would have said if you'd have messaged them first to who will end up messaging you anyway because of their desire for that outcome, you know what I mean, their personal situation. So I'm not too worried about losing people there. Joseph says there's a certain amount of new messages you're allowed to send. Dude, just don't do it all at once is like the big one. Don't send like 50 at a time or 20 at a time. Just spread it out throughout your day, especially to new conversations, You just don't want to clump them together. Like my brother and I's coaching business, we got turned off for like 7 days, which sucked because we just brought in this closer setter and we had to wait 7 days for nothing. But yeah, so you want to spread it out a little bit. We'll wait for Mark Twan to get back.
Oh, there we go. All right, cool.
Let's run it, man.
Rip me to shreds here, Trey. I'm ready.
Oh, bro. You guys I have the best job on the planet, man. This is so fun. All right. So this is since when? Is this like the first of this month?
Yes.
Dude, your cost per follow is ridiculous. Let's scroll down and see how it averages out. 48 cents per follow. That's sick. All right. Let's scroll up. Only 3 inbound messages. This is the first place where I'm like, what is going on here, man? Let's go to your Instagram profile real quick.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
You're good. Instagram profile. Yeah, just click your name. Yep. Cool. Okay. So you don't have a DM me word. This is a big problem. So I'm going to annotate here. So just don't scroll too much.
Okay.
You need to put so helping you find your next higher paying job with what? What's the mechanism? Using what?
Right.
Helping you land your dream job using the job ascension framework, whatever you want to call it. A mechanism at all is 60-70% better than none. A greatly worded mechanism is much better. So don't wait until it's perfect. Just call it something. And value-driven career method. Oh, there you go. There it is. I wasn't seeing it. Okay. Using the value-driven career method. DM me VDC, or you can say value-driven, DM me method, DM me something. Dude, you're going to get so much of that, bro. It's going to be absurd. So that needs to happen today. That's the first thing. This is great. I like this a lot. But yeah, helping you find your next higher paying, more aligned job using the value-driven career method. DM me, something that kind of pulls from this right here, and you're going to get a lot more inbound. Go back to the tracking sheet for me real quick. I would suspect that your inbound messages will like 5x after if you really script that right. And that is, you could literally, dude, just do like these if you really get that bio thing right, and you're good. Like that, and then outbound messaging likers of your other content, and you're kind of good to go. So we can drop 2-minute speed to lead here for followers, because that's just gonna be too much for you to manage. You don't have to do that anymore. And let's just focus on people who message you from your bio word, people who respond to polls. I would put up a weekly poll. Martwan, I wish you were here yesterday. You really need to watch yesterday's recording. I did a full 30 to 45-minute deep dive on how to create more warm inbound. Watch it and do what we talk about there. And then focus most of your efforts on warm inbound. Okay?
Got it. So can I repeat that back to you, Trey?
Yeah, go ahead.
So add the DM me word to my bio, and then focus on people who are inbound with the bio word, do a poll weekly, and then people who are liking other content other than the ad.
Yes. Let me scroll down and see your conversations to set percentage real quick, and then we'll do some setting review.
Okay.
Yeah, this needs a little bit of work. Now, this is probably because, is most of your conversations messaging followers?
Yes. 95.
So,
80.
yeah,
Yes.
dude, that energy you've been using messaging followers, let's cut that, take that human energy, put it into setting up a warm inbound process with your Instagram page and really optimizing that. Okay, it's a one-time thing that'll make you tons of money forever. And once you do that, I'd love to see this at like 7 to 15%.
Okay.
Now let's go ahead and review your profile.
Excuse me, sorry.
Bless you, dude. I know you and your family just got sick, man, so I'm glad you could make it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's pull up some conversations.
Oh yeah, okay. So here's one that I like. I am like, if I don't close this guy, I don't know, it'd be crazy. Where are you at, man? Oh, this guy here. So I start off all of my conversations. I experimented with this and it feels like it works. Just
okay. So first thing I'm seeing, this is really long.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So it's really long. You have to work maybe 1/3 the amount of time that you've been doing it. That alone, if you could just figure out how to shorten the length of these conversations so you're not working so freaking hard for every booking, you'll take your percentage from 2 to 5%. Just that. So we'll look at this conversation and I'll tell you where I would have dropped a calendar link or where I would have transitioned into. Hate to be forward, but I think I could really help you reach your goals or you free something next week. Because I think you're trying too hard for that, is my assumption and my seeing things. Yeah.
I definitely am confused about like, what am I getting here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're getting them to emotionally buy in by telling you their story and their situation, and you're asking what their goals are after that. And you're like, dude, I hate to be forward, but I really think I can help you. If you have an example of somebody you've helped, you drop them there. But yeah, so you see how, just to relate it back to Liam, you see how he makes it in context with his outcome there, Liam. How you doing on the job hunt? Martwan, he helps people find better jobs, right? So this is kind of where you're losing it. You see how much more open this answer is now because it's in context of the outcome that they followed for in the first place. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm currently and actively looking for a job. Got it. So they're like in pain, current state. IG feeds, just can't follow. Yep. Nice. All right. Dude, so it feels very natural to talk about ourselves. My daughter will be 3. Feels like yesterday she was 1. But guess what you're doing here, Martwan? You're opening them up to ask you a billion questions, and you're going to spend way more time now. And it's be so awkward to not answer their questions moving forward. So don't talk about yourself.
Okay, so don't go too personal. Like,
yeah, if none at all, because look at how many words they use when talking about you, how many words they use when talking about themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like people only care about themselves. Like what you think you're doing is building reciprocity. What you're actually doing is opening the door for them to ask you a bunch of questions. And now this is why our conversations are taking 45 minutes when they could take 5. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like, I bet if you scroll down here, we're going to see them asking you a billion questions and like, you're going to be going back forth and hanging out and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go up a little bit back to where we were. Tell me about your current job. What do you do? Okay. Scale 1 to 10, how much these are good questions. Good questions. I like this so far. Let's keep going. I'd say a 3 out of 10. 3, that's rough. I like the 1 to 10 thing. That's very nice. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm seeing all the personal stuff that I'm just like opening up my for.
Yeah. So you're hurting the odds of them buying by talking about yourself actually. Because what you're doing subliminally is you're introducing who you are into the equation of their buying decision, which sounds like it could help, but if you're not perfect, they're not going to buy. You know what I mean? So you actually keep yourself out of the way by just talking about them. Okay. So awesome man getting interviews. Some people can't even get there. It's nice that you're doing this encouragement thing of like, man, like, I feel you. Good job on where you've gotten so far, but you don't have to affirm so much. I think if you were to scroll all the way up, man, all the way up to the very top here. So they've given you this is showing me a lot of emotional involvement, just purely by the amount of effort they've had to extend to write this many words. Their emotions are in it. Why else would they write that much? If I were here, instead of saying my daughter thing, I'd have been like, dude, this is awesome. Do you mind if I ask you some questions to learn more about you? And then you're just boom, 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 boom. You're asking open-ended questions, get them talking. And then at some point you transition to their goals. And then once they tell you their goals, hey, I hate to be forward, but I really think I could help you. You know what I mean? And you go into the second bit. So I'm just trying to optimize your time here, dude, because you've got a lot of desire. Your outcome is great. You're good at serving people, but we just we're working 5 times harder than we have to here, man.
Yes, it's deflating because it's like, gosh, one conversation is taking forever.
Yeah.
And then you'll see down on the bottom here, it was like all of this, and then it was like he was like, "Oh man, I would love to go on a call, but I'm too busy." And so then I felt like, "Well, what the heck did I just talk to you about all that for?" You know?
Yeah. So yeah, and
But we finally got
yeah.
him on a call. I have a call with him today, so it
Nice.
like whatever.
Yeah, but
But
it was work, man.
yes,
Like, why would
yes.
you ever do this if you could just screenshot your Instagram page, put it on your story, and say, "Check the link in my bio to book your one-to-one discovery." Like, and you'd probably like in 30 seconds book like 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Trey, could you give me some feedback here? So this is a question that he sent. Like, by the way, what prompted you to reach out to me? And I was like, oh snap! Like, just if you could just read through that, like.
Yeah, so this is also one of the things that you'll benefit from going more warm inbound is that. And if they say what prompted you to reach out to me, just be like, I love serving the people that follow and seeing if there's anybody that I can help further, you know? I mean, you could just be sort of forward without being forward there, you know? If they were to ask that. But again, this question wouldn't happen if you didn't earlier give them permission to talk about you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So yeah, you have to think about sales in one sense is a leadership thing. And one of the principles of good leadership is understanding the precedents that you're setting as you move forward in a relationship. So if you're setting the precedent that people can ask about you and make it about you, then they're going to do that. And I would think even on your sales meeting today, it'll be a little awkward. You're going to have to revert this a little bit by being really strong about how this call is going to go and what you're here to do at the beginning. Because they might pull this attitude into that meeting. And then guess what? At the end, there's no clear decision point. It's just kind of this cyclical, circular thing.
Yep. Can I show you one more, Trey, really quickly?
Yeah, let's look at like 2 more.
This is a person, I'm curious about this one. This is a person that I know. We used to work out together. We're not like friends. I wouldn't say that, but we're definitely acquaintances. So I did a poll and I was like, hey, I'm launching a group thing on how to blah, 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 blah. Who would be interested? I said the 2 options were yes, absolutely. No, I want to stay miserable. She says, yes, absolutely. I want to join. So this is what I did. Now, I don't know. I sent her this message and I'm just trying stuff. I was like, hey, let me just tell her what would she get? You know, like it's a long message, but I just boom, like dropped it on her. And she was like, and then we started having a conversation.
I would have put the calendar link right there. Scroll up. I'd have been like, boom, right here, calendar link. Yeah. Cool. Are you free sometime soon? Let's chat about it. Do you want my link to schedule? Boom. Yeah. I think a lot of you guys just kind of work too hard for it a little bit. You don't trust in the power of the outcome you're marketing. Does that make sense? Like, think about somebody, you know, getting a better job that they really are excited about, pays well. Like, that's a powerful outcome. Like, stop trying so hard here, you know, almost. Stop justifying it so much. Yeah. If you've done the work and built a good outcome, it'll really hold itself. Yeah.
So eventually we got to like she's jumping on a call today also. But yeah, I was just trying this whole like what would happen if I just tell you, because my offer, I've built a massive over deliver of value. And I was like, let's just see how that would go. And eventually she gets to like, oh my gosh, like all of that, like that's amazing. Then I just was like, boom, here's my calendar link. So I could have done that way up higher.
Yeah. This is part of why you're at 2%, dude, because you're married, you got kids, and like, you know, you can't be spending 45 minutes with one person, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I think, just my advice for you, and this would go for a lot of people, is just, you don't have to work so hard for the calendar drop.
Cool.
Yeah, you just don't. And don't open up the door for this conversation to be about you and your kids and your family and your whatever. That's the first thing. You're gonna be recovering that in these conversations from there. So for you, Marjuan, more warm inbound, watch the first 30 minutes of yesterday's recording, do what I say there. Less working hard for the booking. You don't have to say anywhere near as much as you're saying to get that booking. And then yeah, dude, I mean, I really think that's gonna do a lot for you. And then don't open up the door for the conversation to be about you, you know. Like that first conversation we looked at, they said all that text. I wouldn't be like, oh cool, here's a bit of me too, and now you're talking about them and you, and talking about you as like debt that you have to pay off in form of time of more
Yeah.
conversation. I
Yeah.
would just make it all about them. Be like, oh, that's amazing. Do you mind if I ask you some questions and like learn more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And just it's
Yep.
all about them. Yeah.
So I did that here.
Cool.
So what you're saying works. I did the
Yeah.
same thing. A lady was like, yes, sign me up. I want to know more about it. I sent all this. Hey, here's what you get. We'll start Monday, whatever. Let me know. Boom. Hey, Martwan, yes, send me more information. Boom. Here's my calendar link. She booked the call right away.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I mean, dude.
there's nothing here. I feel like I barely even talked to this lady.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And
Okay.
that's like totally fine. That's actually ideal. Like, you know, you know, it's at least for your time constraint, it's ideal, you know. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Sweet.
Cool, man. Cool,
Thank
man.
you.
Do you have some clarity here? You think you could see things getting up to a 5 or 7% with this change here?
Yes. I'll focus more on the other, like, yeah. Oh, ad spend, question about that. Like,
yeah.
Actually, I can ask that later if that's not the space.
No, you can ask it here. Yeah, what's up?
Cool. Yeah, so I'm doing the $50 a day, a follow ad at 7 days. Should I pivot to going like instead of $50 for 7 days? Should I pivot and be like, all right, I'm gonna do for the whole month or whatever at a lower spin rate or whatever? Or should it's kind of nice to get those follows, but it's like, what the heck is a follow mean if it doesn't lead to a close, you know? So
if you optimize for warm inbound, I'd keep it what it is currently. Let me see your tracking sheet again. And is it up to date from the past couple weeks, or is it just September you started using it?
It's just September.
Okay, that's unfortunate. I mean, how many calls have you booked total and how many have closed? Do you have those numbers off the top of your head? Because I'm trying to get a closing rate.
Yeah, when you say close, like mean like got the
payment in their end.
Yeah. So I started on September 5th and I haven't closed any.
Okay.
Like so that's where that's at. But I have 3 calls today, 2 calls tomorrow.
Yeah. I think we'll close one down. I think leave the spin the way it is as long as you in the next 48 hours do the warm inbound optimization that we talked about yesterday. Because then you can really justify that continued spin because you're getting really qualified, good bookings that are easy to close and you're not spending so much time setting. You know what I mean? And then I would just leave the spin where it is, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Sweet. All right, brother. Thank you. Cool, guys. Who wants to go next? And has this been valuable so far? Like, good stuff for everybody. Been enjoying this 2-day thing? I know I asked that over and over again, but I'd love just knowing that it's still good.
Super solid stuff.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Step on up. Who wants it? All good, Spencer. Audrey, want to rip into yours?
Yes, please. It might be a bit of a challenge since my exchange are all in French, but
cool.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a challenge. Let me think about this actually, because this is all in French.
Yeah, but can I already just show you maybe my numbers?
Yeah, just show your numbers. I can read the numbers easy.
Okay, so I've been using the tracking sheet recently again.
Okay, good.
Slapped me pretty hard back to reality. So I think I'm doing pretty good for the cost per follow, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, cost per follow is phenomenal. That is a great cost per follow. Okay, so then let's look at inbound cost is $8. Do you have a call to action word on in your bio and a mechanism? You do?
Here, so I'm saying I help parents build better relationships with their children via the reflective parent narrative, and then I say book your discovery call with me here.
Okay, so you need to add a word that people message you here in the bio. So using the reflective parent narrative, DM me RPN to learn more, or DM me reflective, or DM me narrative, or something like that to learn more. Okay, and then go back to your tracking sheet real quick for me. What we're trying to do is get more warm inbound. You've gotten 1, right? I think if you add that phrase to your bio, you'll be getting 1 to 3 a day moving forward. And then these are much more worth your time to focus on because they're taking the action to initiate a conversation with you. So that leads often to an easier set call. Okay. So then if you look at your conversations to set, if you scroll down here, what I'm seeing, yeah, we're at 2%. This is half reflective of no inbound opportunity in the bio link or in the bio there. And it's also reflective of yeah, we've got some setting problems here that we should review for sure. Now let's look at you got one set meeting here. I imagine this was your inbound, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so that's the power of the inbound there. You're going to have to work outbound a lot harder than you will inbound.
Let me check just one conversation I had actually like a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I sent my classic, hey, how are things going for your parenting journey and in life so far? Then she sent me a voice message saying, oh, I'm perfect. Everything is good. I just saw your post and it resonated with me. And I was like, oh, awesome. Well, can you tell me which post exactly? I know exactly which one, but I asked.
Yeah.
And then she sent me the post. And then she started opening up.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, it resonates. Sometimes I feel misunderstood as a mom, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's really difficult. I can feel that you need some change in that parenting dynamic. Did you try something? Yeah, that will suck. Oh yeah, I know. It can be really hard to do this by yourself.
Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. So let's scroll back up to the top, very, very top. You are having to type way more than you need to here. This is it seemed to be a very common theme. Where you at right now? They send you a voice note. That's great. Right here, I would say like, here, scroll back up. Right here, I would ask, hey, right here, this message. I would say, that's amazing. Do you mind if I ask you some questions and see if there's any way that I can help you? And they say, sure. And then you just, and because if you scroll down here, generally, I'm purely looking at the size of the text here, not even necessarily what you're saying, just how much effort you're putting in. You're having to type out this whole thing and then another method just the same size and over and over and over again. You're not making it about them, not asking them questions about themselves. And look at, they send you Mercy and you're saying all of this, you know what I mean? But they're saying just that. So I would, if you're going to do the 2-minute speed to lead followers, make it all about them. So, hey, saw you followed. Tell me where you're at in your parenting journey. They give you a voice note to tell you a little bit. Cool. Do you mind if I ask you some questions and see if I can help you at all?
I actually tried to apply this since yesterday because this is a really, really good advice. And here I only talk about her and the division of parents through society. And she really resonates with it. And then I say, do you want to jump on the call? And she says, oh, yes, could be interesting. So I give them a calendar link. And then I say the classic now. Oh, I might give you 5 to 10 minutes. If you book now, I'm sure there's no trouble booking. She's like, yeah, I'm going to look at this tomorrow and tell you ASAP.
So that's because you didn't get their emotions involved because they weren't talking about themselves.
All right.
Yes. That I can almost guarantee that's why they're going to think about the booking and come back later. Is because because you didn't open the door for them to speak about themselves early on in the meeting or in the conversation. You did most of the talking. They were doing most of the responding. That should be flipped. They're doing most of the talking. You're doing most of the responding. You're doing the questions. They're doing a lot of talking. At that point, then you just get them to talk about their goals a little bit. And then you say, here's a link. I really hate to be forward, but I think I can really help you here. Do you want my link? We can set up a time sometime soon. And then you do that. Right. But that's why they're going to quote wait on it. It's because their emotions never got involved because they were never talking about themselves. But I honestly, Audrey, I would have you watch day one, the first 30 minutes, optimize that, get your inbound up because you got one inbound and one set. Powerful. Yeah. Powerful. And then let's look, can I go back to your spreadsheet again real quick and we'll do some more review here in a second. So you're getting, wow, something popped off here, huh? And then it led to this. So yeah, I mean, if we're just looking at your cost per inbound, scroll down to the very bottom here for me. Cost per inbound is $106. So I think if you put a good word in your bio that relates to your mechanism, that is like, DM me this, you can get this down to like 10, maybe 5. Like that needs to be way cheaper. So yeah. I think that honestly, Audrey, we can review more of your conversations, but I honestly think you might almost get just as much from optimizing your warm inbound than we will this. But let's keep reviewing your conversations though, because I think you see where there's problems here in your system though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've got another one here. It's a lady who messaged me directly again, and she said she's interested by what I'm doing, and she asked, "Do you do coaching? How does it work? How much does it cost?"
So this was
So
the inbound that you got?
that was another one, I think.
Okay.
But so I couldn't tell her, yeah, let's just jump on the call and discuss this. I could have actually, now that I'm saying
You
it, I
definitely
couldn't.
could have. Yes.
Because now I'm talking a bit about whatever, and then I say, "Do you want to get on a call?" And he actually never
Yeah.
answered, and then I sent
Yes.
him my calendar, and he never did.
You have, the conversation has to be about them the whole way through. The whole way through. Even if they ask you, do you do coaching? What does it cost? Or it's like, hey, thanks for messaging me. Do you mind if I ask you some questions to see if I can actually help you first? Right back on them every single time. You might think that this is a layup. You might think that they're asking about coaching, but you don't actually know that their emotions are involved in that. You don't know their context. You don't know that they're actually here for the right reasons and are actually going to do it. So yeah, it's always about them, getting them to open up. Let's look at this one.
So here's another one. He no, she just followed. So sent my classic DM. Oh, I'm very tired, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. She talks about herself. Again, I did not use the technique of not talking about myself and my own experience here. So please, I know it. Okay, I want to do it again. But she opened up and we started talking, etc., etc. At the end, I know it's a lot of talk. I gave her my link and she said, thanks, and never booked.
Okay, so based on the feedback I've given you so far, Audrey, why do you think she didn't book?
Emotionally not invested.
Yes.
Because I talked too much about anything else.
Yes. You didn't make the conversation about her and her situation and her parenting journey, her desires with her parenting, her desires for her kids, why she wants to improve as a parent, how long she's been thinking about this. These things have not been discovered. So when you offer a Calendly link, you're basically asking them to be selfless and care about your business.
Yeah.
But nobody does.
Now I remember where my clothes was, well, my sex was. It was on Facebook actually. So I'm still a bit active in that, and I'm really offering value in the groups. So I'm not talking about my business at all. So that's a difference between my Instagram and
Yes. So there you go. Audrey. Is this helpful? I really think you need to put also, I called this out. Do not do the link tree thing. This needs to be a Calendly link.
All right.
Yep. So go ahead and click it. Does it just open up the link tree? Let me see. A lot of you guys do this link tree thing. I don't teach the link tree thing. I don't know where it comes from necessarily.
No, because I want to do a podcast at one point, and I thought about putting a podcast here. And
you just give them one option. You give them one option. Just book your free one-to-one discovery call with me. Down emoji. Calendly. Yeah.
Perfect. Just a question for everyone out here. How many words can you put in here? Because I'm super limited. Is it only me, or are you guys also limited in bio?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that question? Your mic is just a little fuzzy.
Sorry. No, I mean, I'm very limited in the amount of words I'm allowed or able to put in the bio. So when you say I need to add something here, it might be tricky.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cut down some other words and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But I play with this all the time. You're just gonna have to cut down some stuff, and I don't know where you're gonna be able to cut. Just use shorter words where you can, and less words where you can. But yeah, you need to add DM me this word, because you're giving them an opener to start the conversation with you. You think about if they have to think about what that message is going to be when they reach out to you, just who knows how many people have started reading a message to you, but then they don't know what to say. Now you're like, if you want help, DM me this. Now those people who want your help have something to start with, and you don't have to think about it. You're easing the amount of load that it takes to start that initial conversation. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time, even though it was in French.
I did my best. Was it helpful? Yes.
Perfect,
And
thank you.
I literally can tell just by looking at the size of the text, right? Because I can tell if you're saying more words than they are, you're talking about yourself. Like I know that, I can just tell from that. So yeah, Audrey, I would love to see some improvement. Like if you do some warm inbound, okay, put that bio call to action there, DM me this word. I'd like to see your total set get up to like 7% at least, and that's going to come from warm inbound, and also when they open up and tell you about themselves a little bit, don't start talking about yourself. Be like, oh, that's awesome. Can I ask you some more questions to get to know you more and see if I can really help you? Are you open to me asking me more questions? Something like that, and then keep them talking about themselves.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's do a few more. Charles, you put in the chat, how does this bio look? Now, for the recording people, they're not going to be able to see this. So let me just go ahead and do this real quick. Now, I think this is a good bio. Candidly, I think this is actually a really, really good bio. But I'll pull it up. For the sake of the recording. Okay. So, how's this bio, guys? What do you think? Help men permanently lose. Yeah, that could be good. The thing is, this might not be the most desirable outcome. Losing weight, you never know. It could be, it could not be. Making yesterday jealous method, MYJ. This is a great relationship between the mechanism and the call to action, and then this is phenomenal. So, only thing I'm looking at is like, is this like, an outcome that people really, really desire so deeply that
dig deeper, basically.
Yeah, dig a little deeper maybe into that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like we talked about, I think on a couple of meetings ago,
week.
like just like
last week.
They don't want to lose weight. They want to be more attractive to women. They want more respect from their peers. They want, who knows? You know what I mean?
I ran with that. Yeah, it's definitely, it's just with the, like Audrey was saying, like the character limits. I was trying to but at the same time, it's still the same outcome. That's not the most desirable. But learning lots. I just put up my second ad that pivoted to that yesterday. Been getting great feedback on that. But I'm getting so much data from everybody, learning through that. But I think sometimes I think it's hard to grasp on that, but just from my younger days working at a server, I understand everybody's been to a restaurant, right? You're on a server has come to you and say hey, welcome to blah blah. What would you like to eat today? They don't open up. They're not there to you open up once that person's ordered the food.
Yep.
So totally. It's that is different. Boom. They don't go to talk and hey.
Yeah, well,
hey,
the only reason they'd follow you is because they desire the outcome your ad speaks of, right? I'm going to pull up Martwan's as well. Martwan just did the same thing in the chat. Updated bio, helping you find a better, higher paying job in the value curve and dream method. DM me more. I would do DM me VDC or something that relates to the mechanism, right? Helping you find I would remove better just to save a word there. Helping you find a higher paying job. I don't know, maybe better. It's up to you, but just to save some words there, and then DM me value to find out how. DM me value, and then I would move this down here, right? I'm sure that's obvious, but that way you kind of have the 3 here, and then book a one-to-one discovery call. Yeah, that works. Cool. And then Joseph's, I'll review Joseph's. This is kind of neat. We've not done this before. I'll look at Joseph's real quick, and then we'll do Mordecai. We'll review your setting after. So I have to screenshot them and pull them up for the recording, but it works because you can't show chat in recording. Okay, help Christian men master their health using synergistic activation. Ooh, interesting. Very technological. DM me essay to see how. Master their health might not be, I don't know, regain their health, regain energy, something like regain vitality. Health is kind of a broad phrase in the fitness niche, and then master, what does that mean? So something there, for maybe Charles, you could pull from this. I help men drop this weight or gain this muscle using this. You know what I mean? That way is a mechanism there. But yeah, beyond this relates to this. Well, it's good. I would be careful with the abbreviation the right word we use, the first letters. I'd be careful with that. Deem the activation to see how, or activate to see how maybe that this could work. I mean, you'll see as obviously as you track it in your tracking sheet. Don't change too many things at once. Let this play out for a week and look at the data, everybody, of your inbound cost. Okay. All right. Let's go on to reviewing Mordecai's.
Yo, what's up, Trey?
What's up, dude?
Keep going. Let me share my screen share slide. Got you. So
okay,
really started. It's been a Kaizen moment for me. I think last time we spoke, it was just like doubling down. So started running ads like middle of August, and it's just been testing on different forms of ads. So the first one was a carousel ad. Just wanted to test that out at $5 a day. Just about 4 days, it wasn't doing too well, so I just turned that off. And then September started, and I started running another ad. It was a video ad, calling entrepreneurs and coaches. But based on the calls that we were having, basically, I was being vague with who I was speaking.
So yeah, you're being vague. So, and also, dude, and I'll tell you guys this over and over and over again. People who are in my niche and in my industry, this is probably one of the most competitive industries to advertise to. You have to be extremely efficient in your copy and extremely efficient. And like honestly, God, Mordecai, like if you just want to make 20 grand a month, like this might not be the way to do it. I'm just kind of like high level. This industry is very competitive, dude. Very, very, very competitive. So if you're gonna do it, like, yeah, you have to be really, 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 really good. But you know, I'll start there and I'll say that. But let's take a look anyway at it's interesting, your metrics, you don't have any inbound. So I want to look at why that might be. I want to look at the ad and maybe just give you some review here. Okay.
For sure. So I just refined the ad yesterday. I refined my profile yesterday and today based on what you were doing in the appointment setting. It wasn't as optimal as it is today, but yeah, I can just play that. This is the new ad that I just uploaded today. It's gonna get approved today. So
okay. Go ahead and play it with sound.
You're an online coach and you're frustrated with your current one-to-one model because there's only one of you. It's only so many hours in a day, and you can only make
so this is not a desirable outcome. So people frustrated with a one-on-one model is not a desirable outcome. So if you are this and you want this outcome, right? That's how we structure these. If you're stuck here and want this, is probably better, because otherwise it's just not desirable. You have to have something that's just obvious. Just hit the elephant in the room. You know, people are in business to make more money, and that's why I use money as the outcome on all of my marketing. That's just where people are at, meeting them where they're at. They want more money. So I'm like, all right, how to make more money? You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I would adjust that a little bit, dude. Like if you're an online, if I were to do this, if you're an online coach stuck beneath $10,000 a month and you want to get to 20, 30, 50,000 a month, I want to show you how to move from a one-to-one to a group or something like that. I don't know. So then the mechanism becomes what you've made what should be a mechanism, the outcome. Does that make sense? Moving from one-to-one to group is the mechanism you drive to get a desirable outcome, which is money, more time, etc.
Gotcha.
So I could review this deeper, dude, but I almost like want you to fix that ad first, because I don't think that your conversations are going to be the best, because the context they're coming in your business from is not very potent. I would fix that first. Yeah, gotcha. because you see what I mean? And this is a common mistake. I actually see this. It's an interesting thing across niches, across industries. You guys are making the mechanism, what should be the mechanism, the outcome. Does that make sense? Like what should be the mechanism, you've made the outcome, because you see how valuable it is, and you assume others see how valuable it is too. So then you're not actually putting it where it needs to be. Yeah. So moving from one-to-one to group, I understand how valuable that is. You guys understand how valuable that is. You do, but a lot of people don't. They need it related to an outcome that actually matters to them, which is money in this scenario, or maybe free time, more impact, stuff like that. Yeah. So I would change that. Bring it to a group call at some point, and we'll do some more review. But dude, your cost per follower is too heavy. You're in a really competitive niche. You've chosen a very competitive space to get into. And especially when you're in my niche and in my industry, I'm just going to berate you and tell you there are so many easier ways to make 10 or 20 grand a month, dude. This is a hard space to do it in. Once you can get above and beyond it, it's great and everything. But like, dude, Like, I'm honestly almost more excited about my brother and I's business right now. Because it's like, dude, oh, finally, I'm not like, in such a red ocean, man. It's so
I've
fun.
been seeing it. I've been seeing it, bro. And psychologically it gets to you a little bit because I'm
Yeah.
starting out and I know the road ahead. And honestly, I'm not like, I don't have a tight grip on it.
Yeah.
I'm coming from because I was in a digital marketing background. So I mean,
Yeah.
you could just talk about it a little bit more because I'm finding product market fit and I'm willing to really find like what works. So I have other ideas as well.
Yeah.
So it's looking like 3-4 months ahead, like if I'm even doing exactly what we're talking about here and everything, I know I have to invest a lot more in ads because it is the red ocean. But what could you just see, like if I'm following everything that we're talking about here, what does that kind of look like in this space, in the coaching space?
I can't tell you that, dude. You have to figure that out for yourself. If I were to tell you, it'd be artificial. You have to find your unique mechanism, your unique angle, your thing that you add to the space. Because otherwise, you're gonna get busted, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to get a unique mechanism going and tie it into an outcome that people really desire. Otherwise, you're just gonna get busted, bro. Yeah, it's a tough space to compete in. And I assume, are you targeting is your targeting just Russell Brunson or something like that?
So it's entrepreneurship, Russell Brunson, and like the different coaching.
So that is one of the most expensive groups to market to. So that's why your cost per follower is so expensive. Yeah, it's one of the most expensive markets. All right, I apologize, Mordecai, we couldn't get to your appointments, but dude, it's just not even worth it. We have to innovate at the ad and the angle level a bit further. Thanks for being here, Mark One. Go prep for your call, man. Go close a few down. Let's do some review. Let's do one more person, and then we'll wrap up the 2-day training here. Spencer. I would love to do Spencer.
Okay, you just want to do one of my conversations that did set.
So go ahead and prep for it. Pull up your sheet. Are you using the most up-to-date sheet? If you're not, it's kind of my fault. But if you are, it's preferred.
I am.
Okay.
With the new sheet, I only have September on it though. But
That's
I can
fine.
pull up both of them if we want to look at August.
Totally fine. And we can copy and paste the data over really easily too, if we needed more data after looking at September. So the sheet, pull up a couple conversations. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there.
Specifically ones that did set.
A few that set and a few that didn't. I'll tell you what we did right on the ones that set, and I'll tell you what you did wrong on the ones that didn't.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Sweet. Anya just popped into the call. I know, Anya, you just got 2 bookings from the bio link like in 24 hours, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Let's
nice.
go. Yeah, easy. All right, cool.
Okay, I'm sharing the screen. Okay, here's one that did set.
All right. So before we look at your conversation, let's look at the sheet. I want to get the macro, then we can go micro. So, all right. Cost per follow is looking pretty good. Scroll down to the bottom for me real quick. $1.68. Nice. Okay, your inbound cost is a little expensive as well. Are these inbound from story call to actions? Are these inbound from your bio? What are you measuring here?
Yeah, anyone who just reaches out to me without just direct message. Sometimes it's just a regular message. Sometimes it's the
cool. All right.
Word thing.
Good work tracking that, man, because that can be a bit to track. So let's look at your Instagram profile real quick, your bio, please.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna see if we can get our inbound cost a little lower here. Demi Learn. This works. Where does this link go? Let's click it. Okay, yeah. So this works. And then once they fill out this, does it have them book a call?
This just sends me an email and then I contact them. But
okay.
I'm actually, because of yesterday's group call, I'm going to change this to a Calendly.
Yeah,
link.
Make it a Calendly and then go ahead and go back to your profile. And I would just use that phrase we've been using, book your free one-to-one discovery call with me, down emoji, and then it's a Calendly. Yeah. And then the DM Learn to see how. I would talk, I know in your ad you talk about the gig ready system. I would mention that up here somehow. And then the word learn is DM me gig ready or DM me ready or something like that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then that could get you a little more inbound opportunity just automatically without having to do any story stuff or anything like that. So yeah, dude, just a couple small tweaks.
Cool.
Let's go ahead and look at your conversations though, man. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so contextualizing it to drums, that's good. So did this guy book? Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. All right. Currently trying to give lessons. Okay. Yep. So it's good. So what you did right here is you didn't start talking about yourself. What a lot of people have done wrong so far in this review is they would take this as an opportunity to talk about themselves. Like, currently trying to gig and let's get my name out there. Yeah, same, dude. I remember that, 13 years ago, I was just there and wrong. Like you just keeping it about them. That's phenomenal.
Nice.
Been playing percussion for 13 years, drums for 7. So cool, man. Have you done a lot of performing? Your playing sounds great, Carlos. I assume you checked out his page. Dude, this is great. I mean, this is kind of by the book, just letting them do a lot of the talking. You're just asking questions. So cool. Like saying so cool, affirming what they're saying. Let's keep going. No, promote something with there. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is where I kind of want to review because you're saying a lot here. So you said, I'm happy to give you some input if you want. This is interesting. I've been playing professionally, teaching for 20 years. Been sure. Okay. What does he respond here? Yes, it does. And basically, okay. So I honestly think you could probably cut this part out of your script a little bit. I don't know. At least just shorten it down, maybe, because giving some advice can be helpful. Okay. Here's something you could really fix. Instead of becoming a private client, and I have a private coaching program for drummers, I would once they're talking about their goals, they talk about where they are now and their goals. I'd just be like, dude, I hate to be forward, but I really think I could help you. And then I would say what you said above, where I've been playing professionally for 20 years and I've been doing this and that. You know what I mean? Do you want to book in a call with me? We can find some time. And I wouldn't use the words private client. I talked a lot about this yesterday. I wouldn't use the word coaching program. I would just say, I like helping people out. You know what I mean? And I can give you some insight. Do you have some time the next couple of days to chat? And this isn't necessarily hiding that we have a program behind a curtain or anything. It's just people don't want to become a client. They want to reach their goals. You know what I mean? And you gotta be careful with that psychology. So scroll down a little bit. It's nice that he's still booked. It's very good. Yeah. So now because you said you have a coaching program, he's asking you, and now you're having to like answer a bunch of questions, right? And answering all those questions can be a bit like painful because it's like, okay, now you're having to explain yourself and everything. If it's in the script, I got to remove it from the script. Yeah, it is a bit of an older script, so we have to update that. This is good. How much is it? See, he's asking that because you mentioned it's a private coaching program. So, you know what I mean? And now you're having to face these objections. So yeah, I got to update that script, dude. You're following it. This is very similar, Spencer, to the sales review you've done on some other meetings. Like you're following it by the books, which is really good. Checking in. So part of why he didn't book was we didn't drop a link here. And this is
I did make
awkward.
that change more recently. I got Calendly all set up.
Yeah, this is awkward, right? So like
helping.
Yeah, good. So how much is it? No cost for the call. Like that's a very awkward thing. Like obviously he's asking the coaching program and it's just like a dodge. And that is going to be a little bit of like lost trust on the sales meeting. And then you booked him in here, I assume?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is before I got Calendly set up.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. So I mean, he booked, but you see the room for improvement that I'm seeing?
Yep.
Cool.
So,
sweet.
As far as not going into the stuff that I mentioned up here, sorry, I forgot what I was going to ask.
Good.
Yeah, I'll come back to it if I remember.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Let's look at a few more.
You want me to go to the other one?
Yeah, let's look at a few more. Maybe a few that didn't book even.
Okay, this one did book. So you want to?
Let's do a did book. That's fine if we're already at it. Okay. So yeah, we definitely got to fix that part in the script. Let's look at the annotate here. Thanks for following. Reach out. Figure journey on the drums. Okay. PSS isn't a bot. Yeah, I assume that's because they didn't respond. Cool. Still good discovery, man. I mean, again, what you're doing right is you're just letting them talk about themselves completely. What we're probably doing wrong is the private client or coaching program thing later down the line. Yeah, I need to take that out of the script. I do let them mostly know that.
So that's not too much of a shock if they don't know that during the sales call.
No, as long as you are on your stories and in your other content talking about like what you do. Like I love putting up, hey, just had a great coaching call with a student on the story or whatever. You know what I mean? And I would say instead of private client, it would just be like, see if I can help you out. You know what I mean? And see if you're a good fit for what I do, maybe. You know what I mean? It's not even necessarily that we're trying to right hook them with the fact that we're selling something. It's people don't want to be a client or one of your students. I've found generally, especially when you're the one messaging them first. So it's just a little word that I think could be tweaked. It's not like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 4. It's not like an 8 in terms of its importance, worth tweaking.
Okay,
sweet. No, but this is still good. Letting them do the talking. Would love to see a video.
And I'm also, I have to do a good amount of vetting because I want to make sure they're qualified for the program. That's part of what I'm working with as well.
Got it, dude. Well, dude, you might honestly do that in the Calendly application. So in your form on Calendly, instead of doing this in the setting, because I'm just thinking about what I'm thinking about is making it so you're not spending your time doing heavy lifting that systems could do for you. You know what I mean? Because like time is our most valuable resource. Why would we spend that doing something that we could just build a system around? I would make Calendly like give me a Google Drive link to you playing on the Calendly booking. You know what I mean? Maybe. Because if that's important for your offer, then yeah, you're gonna save a lot of time doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this
So
seems
just
like
focus on getting the calls booked regardless of whether they're qualified, and then I'll have that to vet that aspect of it.
Yes. But then they're at least booked and you don't have that barrier there. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
And then if they're not qualified after I see the video, then what would be the best?
I would just reach out to them and say, hey man, I'm just gonna be candid with you. I think we need to work on your drumming skills for a while before you're a good fit for what I do, because I help people, go full time, and I don't know. There's a way to do it without hurting feelings, I bet. You know what I mean? I just don't know I don't know musicians as well as you do, but I think maybe once they're booked, I would just cancel it and I would send them some voice note input, right? Like some things that they can improve on, and say, I'm gonna follow up with you later in the future, improve your drumming for a while. Here's some examples, here's some resources on doing that, and then follow up with them later, maybe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yep.
So would you say that the biggest keys during my DMs are seeing if they have the goal of wanting to play professionally and then getting them on a call from there?
Yes. It's really what you're trying to do is you kind of get their emotions involved so that they're willing to tell you information about themselves. By talking about themselves, they get their emotions involved, and then establish a clear goal or goals. Once you've done those two things, all you needed to do is just, hey, I hate to be forward, but I really think I could help you out. You know what I mean? I've been helping people out, and a bit about your track record of people that you have helped. Are you free sometime soon? We can have a chat. So that's all you're really trying to do, is if they have the goal to go full time, or at least even just make money with their music career at all. You know what I mean? Full time might even be like a big outcome. You know, just at least making some money so that it's like, worth your time to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right on.
Okay. Does that all make sense, dude?
Yeah, it does. That's helpful.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice. I mean, you've got a pretty clean thing here. I'm not gonna lie. Go back to your tracking sheet. Let me look at your total conversations to bookings. So scroll down. Yep, conversations to set. The very bottom of that pillar on the far right there. Yeah, 7%. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good. 7% is good. I would say you could save a little bit of time with the whole thing that you would video of their drumming thing with on the Calendly link, maybe. And then yeah, we could set up your profile for some more warm inbound. I know you're gonna do what we talked about yesterday. And then I think you're in a good place, man. There's not much I would change here besides those two things. And again, the whole client thing is like, again, it's a 4 out of 10. Not a huge deal, but worth maybe reconsidering.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like getting calls booked is not a lot of work and it's not too hard. I feel like just closing the calls is my bottleneck for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're booking plenty. I think you'll book a lot more. That inbound cost is just, man, like I would love to see this down at like $5. You know what I mean? If you can do that, you'll save a lot of time in the setting process. Yeah. So really thinking about your story call to actions, your bio, and other things that could create that reality, you know? Because I mean, think if you do this, also your closing meetings too, like if they hit you up first, there's a different emotional tone to that conversation, even on the closed meeting. You know, even on the meeting, once they actually book. If you hit them first, forever, you hit them first. You know what I mean? If they hit you first, it's just kind of a different energy. And so that often they can be easier to close to. Not always, but often they can be. So yeah, man.
Got it.
Cool. All right. Good stuff, Spencer. All right, guys. Well, good way to spend a couple hours. You guys learn anything?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
A ton. I had a question about implementing all of this. So I know we follow the rule of changing one thing at a time and gathering data. Does this changing our bio and making these small changes, is that part of that rule, or should we just change this as soon as possible?
If you know for a fact it's going to be better than it was, then change it. The data is just there to give you a hedge if you don't really know and you need something to look at.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Cool, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I think we'll do like a once a month. I think, we did this sales review thing and that helped a lot of people. I think this setting review thing is going to help a lot of people too. I think we're just kind of make it a once a month cadence: setting review, sales review. And, once I get to, we're working on having some community leaders step up into leadership as well. So we'll have them do it. I'll do it sometimes. They'll do it sometimes. We'll cycle it just to make sure that we're staying sharp. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that, Joseph. I think monthly, I think like a setting review on the 1st of the month and a sales review on the 15th. And it's just like, just bang, 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 bang. I think it'd be sick. Because I just think that this is really valuable stuff. Yeah, well, actually, Fahad, do you mind if I ask people what their key takeaways are first? And then we'll get some questions. Because I just want to know. So, past 2 days, what did you guys learn? I know it's probably a lot. I'm ready to hear it.
Put a big emphasis on making it more about the prospect, like open-ended questions. Also, like driving your authority with it. Like, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to like see if you need help. And if you need help, then I'm going to help you. Like, I'm not here to have a casual conversation, which helped me a lot mentally because I thought I had to be so like touchy with people, like have a long conversation. It's like, no, what's the elephant in the room? All right, there it is. Here's a solution. Book a call. Let's go.
Yeah, dude, it's big. What else?
For me, it's just product market fit, like really understanding your market, because it affects your top of funnel a lot. So I have some work to do on that, on the market I really want to serve, and just like committing to that. So
got
also,
it, dude.
Like if someone follows you or if they like a piece of your content, it's some kind of like buy-in a way. So it's like a sign just to reach out, and then you can really get them bought in through the conversation.
Yes. Guy talking about themselves in relationship to the thing. Yep.
Don't talk about that much.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Don't talk about yourself that much, if at all, in the DMs, because that's going to open up the door for them to ask you questions about yourself, which is obviously what we don't want. We want the conversation to be all about them. So yeah, that was huge for me.
I'm excited about the Monday, Wednesday, Friday poll giveaway and CTA thing. That sounds like a solid rhythm.
Yeah. And then just be a human on the off days. Yep.
Yeah.
Huge stuff.
Also,
Cool.
that people don't want to be your client or student, so don't mention it. Just try to refer to your current students as a person or someone rather than saying client, student, or any other term.
Generally, that can help. Some people will feel like you're beating around an obvious bush, but generally that will help. Yeah. Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, awesome. I feel really satisfied with how this went, and thanks everybody for being here. And I might actually end up calling them all off just because I've done a ton of group meetings, and then we'll probably be back Friday. So sweet.
I had a closing thought, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So if we want to review our own data and what maybe something we're doing wrong, so the order of operations should be checking your tracking sheet first, right? Then checking your cost per follow, then your convos to set ratio. And after that, we should check our bio to see if that's dialed in. And then if the mechanism is good enough in the bio, and then whether or not we have a DM me, or if we have a Calendly link in the bio. So that's the order of operations for that. And then
that was my order of operations for reviewing you guys. Yes. Okay. But I would say cost per follow, message to set if you're looking at setting up. If you're looking at everything, you look at everything. You know what I mean? But if you're just optimizing your Instagram and you're setting, then yes, those two things: cost per follow and setting percentage. Yeah, conversations.
Got it. Conversations was the last part. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Cool, guys. This has been awesome. I'll see y'all Friday. Peace out, y'all.